Caldana is not the only one who has an interesting night. Cerberus, as your eyes open, you find yourself not where you fell asleep, although you are in a place that feels like home. You can tell you are deep within the God's Grasp forest. The spiritual energies of the area feel very familiar. However, the trees and plants in the area do not look like what you'd expect. They're more temperate, almost subtropical. The foliage is thick and lush, and you would guess you may be further north on the continent than the God's Grasp forest exists in your time. You look out over a serene glade, a beautiful pond amid the verdant clearing of the forest. A small stream babbles over rocks before emptying into a spring. Fireflies and moths flutter around the vegetation near the pond's edge, and there, just on the other side of the pond, stand two people. One is a man, though he looks more like a tree given form, perhaps an ent. Made from gnarled oak, bark covers much of his body, and his hair is an array of branches stretching up into the canopy of the forest. Through those branches, you can see myriad different birds and small mammals running around and making home of it. His eyes are deepest yellow, set against the dark brown of his bark. The other is a woman, only vaguely elven in appearance. Her hair is silver, but as you look closer, it is not hair, but gossamer threads woven by the spiders and moths that surround and run over her. She has compound eyes and beautifully decorated moth wings spreading from her back. She wears a sheer dress, practically translucent, made from spider silk. You gaze upon Father Oak and Mother Ash for some time, awed, and your wonder is only disturbed then by the sounds of a crying child. As you look to your right, you can see that not 30 feet from you, there is an elven child laying on the ground. It is wrapped in green cloth, a cloth you recognize well as being the make of the Order of Oak and Ash. This child, little more than an infant, appears abandoned in the forest. Unable to move or to speak, you can only watch as Father Oak and Mother Ash make their way around the spring to where the child lays. They exchange a meaningful look to one another before Mother Ash reaches down and picks the child up, holding it to her breast and allowing it to nurse for a moment. As the child quiets, she turns and walks out into the pond. Slowly, she lowers the child down into the water and lets it sink beneath the surface, the now soaked cloth weighing the child down. She then turns and returns to the shore, waiting alongside Father Oak. Seconds pass, minutes, what feels like hours as you fear for this child. And then the waters begin to bubble, a brilliant light shimmering from deep beneath the surface, so bright that it illuminates the entirety of the spring. And a woman erupts from the pond, fully grown and gasping for air. Even standing in the pond, you can tell she must be tall, well over 6 feet. She is strong, her muscles toned and cut. Droplets of water fall from her shaggy mane of silver hair. As she looks up, the bright yellow eyes of a wolf glance out, and as she opens her mouth, you can see her long canine teeth. Mother Ash smiles then. Daughter, you will. But then she goes silent as the waters begin to bubble again, looking surprised. The woman in the pond glances down as well, and then her lips curl up into a huge wolfish grin. She reaches down into the water, fishing around for a moment before lunging up with a heave. Pulled from the spring is another girl, fully grown, though much smaller. She has beautiful chocolate brown hair with flowers of every color you can imagine scattered about it. She stands probably about 4.5 feet tall and lacks the other's muscle. However, she has beautiful deep green eyes, and the moths from the vegetation near the shoreline all fly over to her and begin to float around her head like a crown. The larger woman grins. Sister, she growls out gutturally. The smaller woman puts on a huge, excited smile. Sister, she exclaims back. Father Oak and Mother Ash exchange a somewhat surprised look with one another, but you see them nod, and then Mother Ash speaks. Children, she says, bidding them come closer. Both women wade out of the spring, coming up onto the shore and kneeling before the god and goddess. Mother, Father, they both say in unison. Mother Ash smiles. Long have we watched over Cyrene, for we were among the first, those who called Elf Father. Father Oak nods. But all things that live must also die, that new life may begin. This is our grandmother's gift to all Syrian, for in death will life anew always be possible. The sisters exchange a look with one another before glancing back up at their parents. Father Oak bids them stand, and they do. He then leans down to the smaller. And yet, we love this world and would see it protected long after we are gone. I name you Flora, goddess of plants. Mother Ash then smiles and looks to the larger of the two girls. And I name you Fauna, goddess of animals. May the two of you serve as this realm's twin goddesses of nature, as we have for so many eons before. Fauna looks up, fidgeting a little. We will strive to do as you have done, Mother, Father. And you see Father Oak shake his head. No, child. It is the nature of all things to change, to grow, to improve. It is the privilege, nay, the responsibility of the two of you to grow and be better than we. And it is the responsibility of all things, or sorry, as it is the responsibility of all things to improve on what came before. Flora and Fauna consider this for a long moment before nodding, vowing that they will do so. And with that, you see Mother Ash approach Father Oak, pressing her hand and head against his chest, and a blinding light overtakes the glade. And when you can look again, there stands a massive oak tree with a beautiful ash tree entwining around it, ever at rest at the side of the pond. And you awaken.
There. No, don't yell that.
I mean, your sound cut out for that whole
You
thing, so
literally didn't yell it.
you literally blew out the
No.
mic, so you didn't yell it.
I didn't yell that loud. That's funny. Yeah.
So?
All right, Cerberus is going to awaken then.
Yes, indeed, and you all do. It is a somewhat lovely morning in Mina's Grove. It is warmer than it has been recently. This has been something of a late winter. Spring technically is here, and yet it has remained cold so far. The summer months still seeming quite far off. However, today does feel like maybe the beginning of spring. As you stand, you think you could even open a window. You could have it open for the morning and just enjoy a moment. But you all eventually make your way downstairs and start to find breakfast. As once again, you are in the Widow's Revenge, so breakfast here is outstanding. The morning is yours.
Well, Rialto will be downstairs with her tea and a dwarvish amount of food.
So that's to say a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's need to make that food anyway. But she'll, if anyone's down there, she'll sit with them. But otherwise, she will take a booth and wait for others to arrive.
Cerberus will take their food as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. A small amount today.
All right.
And they will eat quietly.
How unlike Cerberus.
Indeed.
Brux, Melody, what are you two up to?
About the same. Do a few stretches, go down and get a hearty amount of food. Consume.
And Melody? You may be muted.
Trying to see if she is. Yes, she is muted. I didn't see a BRB.
So she didn't give me a BRB.
That would fucking explain everything. God damn it.
Oh.
Yeah. We have not heard from you since we started playing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. I have been making comments here and there, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I hope you enjoyed Flora and Fauna's awakening.
I did. I was like,
Indeed.
I know this story.
What the fuck? Did they just drown a baby?
Drown a baby to create a
They
werewolf
sure did.
lady. That is exactly what it says in my notes.
Because not gonna lie, I was like, wait, is this how they fucking found Cerberus? No.
Yeah. Indeed.
Melody is going to be is already gonna be downstairs wolfing down like a plate of flapjacks if they have that.
They do.
Okay. And when she sees the others uh coming down the stairs, she'll wave over. Can't talk because she has like a mouth full of flapjacks.
Not only do they have flapjacks, they have small fruits, berries, small things you cook up and put in your flapjacks.
Oh yeah, she's
Ooh.
absolutely just like she has like a small bowl of that like just on the
Mhm.
side.
Absolutely. And so you all, as you come down, you inevitably see a very excited dragonborn wolfing down a disproportionate number of flapjacks.
Good morning.
Wave as I go to get my own food.
Morning.
Well, you seem well rested, Melody. Brooks. Seems Caldana is having a late morning this today.
Caldana does eventually come down. She is fine. She doesn't look different, but she is quiet this morning. Although, what you do notice occasionally, she reacts to things.
Oh no.
And that isn't to say that like it's not super noticeable. However, occasionally she will react with a nod or something like that, as if Rialta, you've seen people do this before, where they practice conversations in their head that they feel they may have to have in the future.
Yeah.
You've seen people do this before, particularly people you've married. You've seen do this. That's what it's kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it makes you think of.
It's okay,
But-
I do that too.
Otherwise, she is quiet and certainly doesn't seem worth talking to this morning.
Understood. Cerberus, did you have a restful sleep?
Mhm. Travers sort of taps his spoon on his porridge. Yes.
You shouldn't play with your food like that.
Hmm?
Don't
Oh,
play
right,
with your food like that. It's precious.
right, of course.
Someone made that with warmth and love,
Here,
and you're eating it.
Melody. You have it.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. I mean,
You
Are you
you
sure?
should. You're a growing thing.
She is also the largest person at this table.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that part.
Yeah,
She-
Melody is very big. She is a
Yeah.
almost full-grown dragonborn. They reach maturity, physical maturity, very quickly.
Thank you for like
The voice-
clarifying
It's
physical
the
maturity.
voice that throws me. I'm picturing just a little chibi
Yeah.
dragon.
No,
The only
She is
chibi.
humongous.
The only chibi here is Rialta. She is like half everybody's size.
I believe Melody is over 7 feet tall.
Yeah, hold on.
She a big girl.
I think it
I
was
was gonna
6 foot.
6 foot tall.
but-
Yeah, over 6
6
feet
foot
tall.
Yeah,
ish.
not 7 foot, but 6 foot.
Yeah, she big.
I was gonna
I think
say,
she's
like,
the tallest.
Brooks and Caldana are also like 6
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah, she's like 6'4".
So,
Cerberus, are you well this morning?
Oh, yes, yes.
You've been awful quiet, which is honestly not like you.
Have I? Oh,
Mhm.
well, another day, another, breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of why I'm a little confused. You gave me yours. Are you sure you're not hungry? Because breakfasts are very important.
Yes, that's, no, I do agree we should go to the captain. Actually, I think that's what I'll do. Why don't we have to get the turn in for the captain. I'll do that. I can meet you
No,
all
sir.
before we take
You
off.
are going to stay here and you're going to eat something before you leave.
Oh, that's kind of you, Melody, but
We
And
can-
she has
we
like
can go with breakfast.
yes.
she's actually going to like push like one of the plates of flapjacks over to you.
Well, nothing if not persistent.
And I hear they have like something called a bean juice. I don't know. Someone said that it was like juice from beans, and I was like, "That's kind of gross." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's bitter and really good." And I'm like, "How can something bitter be so good?"
Some people do eat beans for breakfast.
It's true.
No,
Well,
but like, I understand that, but like, this is like juice from beans. Like they juice the beans. And I'm like,
yeah, yes, Melody, yes.
Mm,
Thank you.
We're all
just
kind of.
have juice or beans, not
I
both.
will eat the
Um,
beans.
Melody, let's maybe allow Cerberus some room to eat what he needs.
Cerberus puts his porridge down and just goes back to looking out the window.
A little while later, as Carmen enters into the establishment, and she has holding her hand as she goes along a small girl that you recognize. Clinging to her hand with both hands is Melisandre, she leads along over towards the table and nods her head. Good morning, everybody.
Oh,
Morning.
Mhm.
You
Good
want some
morning.
flapjacks?
She opens her mouth to answer, but then stops and glances down at Melisandre. She'll have some.
Okay. I also
Me-
have some berries.
Melisandre looks very excited by this, and she climbs up into the booth and literally sits on Melody's lap.
Aw.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Melody is gonna fucking offer to let her like sit on her lap. There we go.
So, yep, Melisandre starts to eat quite happily as Carmen nods. Ah, well, she did well enough for her first night. Didn't seem to bother her any to be in a room by herself. So, it's we took some time this morning to bathe the goat.
Praise
This-
me.
Praise be. She calls up as she has a mouthful of flapjacks. By the way, on that note, I should mention last session, Rialta, Caldana, and Melody all did swear fealty to the goat, putting on the goat blanket and swearing fealty. Brux and Servaris chose not to. We will see if that comes back at any point.
I'm actually going to add like goat cloak on my inventory. There we go.
I mean, she gave it to you. You can keep it. It's just a blanket. It's a goat blanket, but
It's got lice in it.
it's yours. Indeed. So she nods. Yes. Fortunately, Miss Melisandre was perfectly willing to do the work by herself. She's nothing if not hardworking. She gives a nod to Melisandre, who has a very large mouthful of flapjack right now as she eats. To that end, Melody, I was wondering if you might accompany me before we have to set out from this town. I'm leaving for Stone's Throw in, probably an hour or so.
Oh, of course. If you guys don't mind.
And she's gonna look over to the group.
No,
Go
please.
ahead.
Excellent. I have located someone who is willing and able to teach young Miss Melisandre how to read and write.
Okay. Could we also stop by the market as well? As I was gonna come over to your place with clothes for Millie.
Uh,
Melisandre.
the girl looks up and nods, but she says, "Melody's fine. Either way." Um, Carmen nods. Very well. It's on the way. Walking through the markets anyway. So,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll ask Melisandre what she would like to drink and go and fetch that for her.
Melisandre, she says water because she doesn't know that there are other things.
No, that's fair enough.
We'll start simple.
Yes. So she gives you kind of a weird look, and she's like, "What water? Water?"
Go and fetch water.
And yeah. So Carmen nods. Great. And I'll let you finish up eating there, little one, and we'll get going. The priestess said that she would be expecting us this morning.
Priestess?
There's a priestess in this city who is blind herself, and she can read and write. She said she'd be willing to teach Melisandre how.
Oh.
Mhm.
Good.
Carmen nods. Do you mind if I join you while we wait for the young one to finish eating?
No, have a seat.
She
By
nods and
all
sits.
means.
You'll be when will you be leaving, Carmen?
Within the hour. I need to get up to Stone's Throw quickly, and unlike the lot of you, I don't have the benefit of getting to take a Lockheed's Inquisition badge with me. If I'm found with it, I'll be killed. So I have to go as a commoner for the time being, so it'll take me a couple days to get across the bridge. However, hopefully I can get into Stone's Throw after that and start, infiltration.
Well, that's all nothing new for you, is it?
No, I've done this, not like this many times. Infiltrating the severed hand is something of a step up from the targets that I normally would be looking for. And she casts a glance around the room. The gentleman, Jesse Silver, is, well, she is a very dangerous woman and a very smart one. So this will be, for certain, my greatest trick yet.
I'd say it's a better use of your skills.
I would hope so. I did not think that being deputized in the Inquisition, I did not think I would be just continuing to steal, although I guess from a for a better reason than I used to.
Just sort of nod at her.
Be careful. I mean, I know that's something you already are well aware of, but based on some things I have heard regarding Stone's Throw, there is much unrest right now.
That seems likely. 3 human counselors dead, I've heard.
Indeed.
That does not bode well. Particularly right now. He thinks
When
about
I
it from
came down, I did not pass through. I passed down the path that's outlined on here. Right?
No, you came through Stone's Throw. You have been through Stone's
Okay.
Throw.
Yeah, I will
Melody.
echo it then.
Yes. Sir Varys and Brooks. Brooks, you came across the Gold Road up here, and then down the Hard Silver Road towards the 2-day bridge. Brooks, Sir Varys, when you came out of the God's Grass Forest, you were basically right there. That's where they spit you out. So you also came down that same path, but you didn't see Stone's Throw on the way. You were already south of it. So Brooks, you have also seen what she is referring to. Although
I'll just sort of back that up and relay some specific anecdote or whatever. The whole thing seemed very tense as of X number of weeks ago. Whatever that was.
That was 4 weeks ago, before any of the counselors had been murdered. Tensions were high when you were passing through because the elections had just happened, and now suddenly humans did not hold just a out-and-out majority of the council. They only had 7 of 15 seats instead of their usual, well, as high as probably 13 and as low as probably 9. They probably were never lower than 9. But for the first time, they only held 7 seats, and Carmen nods. Well, that is about to become far more relevant of a point. The Council of Stone's Throw, in the event that a counselor either passes or cannot complete their term for whatever reason, elections are not held. The remaining counselors, by a majority vote, place a new person on the council. This was, of course, for many years, many centuries, a way of allowing humans to keep power. Never in the history of this continent has a replaced counselor been replaced by anything but a human. However, there are now only 4 humans sitting in the council, and when they vote, or when this happens this time, they are unlikely to be replaced by humans after 3 were murdered.
It seems we find ourselves in interesting times.
Interesting indeed. Stone's Throw is a powder keg. So you would do well to keep to the South Road for now. See what you can find out in Moon Bay. Hopefully I will be able to keep my head above water as I infiltrate the Severed Hand. And, well, we will see where we're at in a few weeks' time.
And as she finishes that, Melody is going to put a hand on her shoulder and just like give her like a very intense look.
She raises her eyebrows. Yeah.
You better come back.
Oh, well, it is certainly my every intention to leave this with my hands unsevered, as it were. I expect this will take some time. Infiltration is never a quick process. It is something that always takes, on the lowest end, weeks. For the severed hand, and Gentleman Jesse Silver, no less, I expect I will be at this for months.
Pinky promise?
She reaches out and pinky promises, as if she's trying to think, my life has changed a lot.
Last week was very different.
2 weeks ago was a very different time in my life. It's like I was written as a different character originally. It's almost like
You're
someone
hot,
did.
Cupcake.
Oh my goodness.
3 inspo for the sexy dude running in the forest with goddess.
3 inspo for the sexy dude running the forest with goddesses. I presume that is Cerberus.
Yeah.
So take 3
I mean,
inspo.
I'll take sexy. That's great. Sure.
Aces.
Nailed it.
Eventually, Melisandre finishes her breakfast and hops up, and Carmen nods to Melody. Are you ready to go?
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, Millie, next time we're in town, we're not just gonna eat flapjacks. We're gonna eat pancakes and waffles, and they're so good.
He looks up and is like, I don't know what any of those things are, but I'll trust
They're
you.
like flapjacks, but like way better.
She looks at the flapjacks and then looks at you as if she doesn't believe you,
Uh-huh.
as though she
I
can't
know.
comprehend it.
I know.
Praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be. She nods. And so the 3 of you head on out into the Myriad Markets to go do some clothes shopping for Melisandre, that she might have something to wear other than the ill-fitting clothes that were provided by her by Shara Soulborn. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, Melody, in the market?
Just something like modest for a young girl like her.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
some long dresses, sort of thing.
Yeah. Also probably get like a set for of like warmer clothing for when the winter months roll by.
Sure. It's probably all
Like-
on sale right now since spring is near.
That's why she's doing it right now.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then I presume maybe something a little bit nicer for when she's learning or.
Yeah. So like basically like a whole ensemble for whatever a young girl might need.
Give me a persuasion check. Finding clothes is no problem. We'll see how much it costs you.
Gotta haggle.
Oh, jeez.
Natural fucking 20. Let's go.
A nat 20 for a total of 30. Okay. Indeed. You are able to find a clothier or a number of clothiers, particularly not in the center like where Jackson's grocery is. These are more on the outskirts, but you are able to find a section where there's a number of clothiers, and a couple of them even that seem to specialize in, many of them specialize in smaller clothes because this place is, founded originally by, but was predominantly run by halflings. So that is not uncommon, and dwarves as well. So it's not uncommon to have smaller clothes. To that end, you are able to locate a clothier who is able to size her and get her fitted for some proper dresses. She gets 3 dresses in different colors. Nothing fancy or super nice, but what one would expect of a commoner in Mina's Grove. She is also outfitted with some heavier clothes and a coat that she can wear when it comes to when next winter's snows start coming around. and some proper shoes and boots as well that she did not have. And lastly, you acquire for her a set of finer clothes, something that she could wear on a night or a time when it is expected that she won't look like a little commoner. And for all this, at first, it's going to be relatively expensive. They're talking about charging like 10 gold, which is, for a number of outfits for a young girl and for shoes especially, is about what you would expect to pay. However, the good news is not only do you, Melody, have a silver tongue, you also have with you an adorable little blind girl who is what we in the business call a sympathy card. And you are able to knock off the price basically down to wholesale, and for 5 gold, you are able to acquire all of these
Nice.
clothes for her.
Like,
I'll tell you who looks impressed is Carmen. She's like,
yeah,
"Damn."
because as we were shopping around, I let like Melisandre just like feel the fabric, see which ones she'd like,
Mhm.
type of deal. Like if
Yeah.
there's anything she doesn't like, we're not taking that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it doesn't take long after that before the shopkeep notices like she has to feel the fabric because she can't see it. And indeed, you are able to get everything. So you can subtract 5 gold, and this girl will have a supply of clothes for her.
Oh, also, could I also get like a set of not necessarily chokers, but like simple pendants? Well, one necklace one pendant necklace and one a similar like pendant for like a collar.
Sure. Yeah. So you are. There's a number of jewelers in here. They're all over the place. So you're able to find a jeweler that has not only nice stones and pendants, but also sells leather chokers that go around.
Okay.
What are you
And
specifically trying to get?
like matching pendants. Like it doesn't really matter what the design is. I just want like matching pendants.
Sure. You are able to find 2 lovely necklaces. They are each bound on a simple strip of leather, very thin, but not one that's gonna, completely cover too much, or rather look too thick when you wear it. Both of them have a lovely bright blue stone on the end of them.
Okay.
And they appear to be twins. They're the same cut, they're the same make, same stone.
Awesome. And I'm going to give one. I'm gonna put one around Melisandre's neck,
Mhm.
and I'm going to.
Yep, you're fine. Go ahead.
And I'm going to place the other one in her hand, and tell and I'm gonna say,
When you get home, this is for Mr. Goat.
And that's what so you're taking one, she's taking one, and you're getting the collar for the goat.
Mhm.
Okay. She smiles excitedly and nods. She's never had a piece of jewelry before. This is very exciting. That's not true. She has had a piece of jewelry before, but you're pretty sure it's just a shard of glass that she found and said this is shiny. Although she didn't know it was shiny, but she could kind of see it. So she looks very excited and smiles and hugs you, saying thank you. And she nods. You are able to get the 2 necklaces, each with a lapis lazuli on them, are, I would say, 10 gold a piece. And the collar is 5 gold. For buying all 3, he knocks off 5 gold on that. So he gives you the collar for free, effectively. So 20 gold.
Nice. Okay.
All right. And while that's happening, transition back over to the rest of the party. What are you all doing?
Once we finish, I just sort of look at everybody. I was like, I believe we have a loose end with the captain tie up.
Oh,
Yes. Let's head to the word that I can't think of where sheriffs are, but he's not a sheriff.
Yes.
And
The jail and off.
Captain's quarters.
Yeah.
What was that place called? It's down in Mina's Arms. Yes, you go to the barracks.
Barracks.
We go to the
There.
toenail of Mina.
Yes. And as you arrive, as you have so many times before, there is a dwarven man who is sitting behind the desk as you enter, and he glances up, seeming to recognize you. Oh, no tieflings being held here. Not yet, anyway.
Blink.
Raise
No.
my eyebrow.
Then he sees Caldana enter and goes, "Oh, yeah. Sorry, the captain's not here."
Ah, we have a bounty to collect from turning in a wanted fugitive.
Oh, he did mention something about that. That's right. You brought in Carmen Rayla,
San Diego, yes.
who I understand was supposed to hang this morning and did not.
Well, we did bring her in.
You did, and that is what the bounty was for, so I understand. The captain has your payment. He said he got called up to Lockheed's Haven. He said, though... Oh, let me check. He left me a message for you. He pulls out... he looks through... He seems to have a large collection of messages from people that he seems very annoyed about. And he starts flipping through, finding the one. Okay. It appears that you were requisitioned a cart and 2 horses from under the name Sunvale.
Yes.
Those will be waiting for you at the North Gate. Captain Sageland said he'd meet you there.
Very good.
Oh, with the rest of our reward, I take it?
Yes, he has your reward. He took it with him.
Very well, then. Thank you.
Hmm?
Well, I suppose we head to the North Gate, then. I have a debt I need to pay back before we
Sir
can leave.
Ferris, if you wish, and we can do this any order, but we can certainly give you some from the group, and then you can just turn that in later when we get your reward portion.
For the
The
sake
group?
of convenience.
We have a
I-
group.
A communal.
Yeah, we have a communal pot of much of the gold we have acquired.
Oh, I thought that was going to some sort of charity or children's...
Indeed, we are the
Benefit.
charity.
If need be, eventually.
Oh,
I will tell you this. The good news is Fjord Swords and Boards is the first building just to the left of the North Gate. So
There's that. Too.
well,
they are
then if
right
we
next
could,
to each other.
How convenient.
if we could stop by Fjord Swords and Boards, then, and if I could do the sort of things for a second. Questionable act of asking for a loan. A 100 gold pieces to pay off what I still owe.
She reaches into the. I don't know why I assume Rialta has it. I just always assume in the game I have the pot.
fine.
You've been the one actually managing it.
Yeah, because you
so-
manage it,
In
so you
every
have
game I do. Anyway. So she just pulls out 100 gold. It's not a loan when it's meant to be part of a community. It is as you need it. He holds it out to you.
He takes the heavy bag of coin. So much coin. Thank you. I suppose we can stop by the smithy on the way to the gate, then.
Of course. You seem a little less than enthused about your new armor.
Oh, no, I'm sure the armor will serve fine. It's just to protect you from dying.
Hmm. You know,
Suddenly afraid of that?
I do not fear death. I have been trained from a young age to expect it. For myself, at least.
Reverse, you remind me of when my family was in mourning, grief periods.
Perhaps I am at that. You
Sometimes-
know,
Mhm.
he says as he takes a few steps out onto the road, as you walk towards the
Mhm.
fjords, boards, and whores.
He would prefer you not call it that. Not great for business.
I think it'd be fantastic for business.
Would be good for
Well,
business.
it would definitely be good for It would
Now,
get people there. I don't know that people would be pleased when they got there.
Now, what do you do, son? Why, I'm a whoresmith, father.
Jesus.
No.
That's just another word for pimp.
We're doing a full rebranding. It's fine. We're consultants now.
Yeah, it's a big
We're
thing
on
we're working on.
retainer.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
We're gonna get so much money,
Which is
guys.
good for the money. Consulting fee.
Anyway, sorry. You're walking the
alright.
middle of the road.
When my people come of age, we meet with a spirit. Can they see my spirit, Kelly?
Yes, they can. Yep. If whenever Hemlock is showing itself, yeah, they can see it. They're not invisible. Well, sorry, not all of them. Air spirits are, but
Right.
only by nature being air spirits.
This is mine. Severus points up at the tiny fairy dragon that flutters about top. It has gossamer-like wings, and its body seems to be sort of loosely but not dangerously entangled with a small vine with tiny pale flowers that grow out of it.
I was always wondering. I'd heard of such spirit bonds with your people. I'd never got to see one up close. He kind of tries to look at it, but she's really short, so it's really hard.
They're named after, well, whatever entity or flora or fauna they attribute themselves to. This is hemlock,
Poison.
named for the plant.
Hmm.
It's an important time in my order when you learn the name of your spirit. It answers your sigil, what you are. Every knight has a right to bear arms, at least during times of war. But in the past, my people formed a tradition when leaving the forest of painting their shields green so that we couldn't be told apart. A symbol of unity hid the markings underneath. It's interesting. Some people, legends say, get things like displacer beasts, owl bears, cougars, oak trees, beings of strength and honor. I have hemlock.
You said legends say. You've seen no other of your order with anything so impressive?
Hemlock flutters down and perches on your head and starts preening. He likes being called
My
impressive.
master was called the owl. His spirit was a great horned owl. It was an impressive creature. Eyes as wide as the moon. The feathers on its head pointing straight up. Tawny beak you could barely see amongst the feathers, but the claws, the talons on the creature. It had a ginger spirit to it, much like he did. But it was a predator, first and foremost. It's strange, you know. I think when I was growing up, I made such a large deal out of this. He reaches up and sort of brushes, just gently, past Hemlock, rubbing some of the pollen powder in his fingers for a little bit.
Just a moment, Hemlock like latches onto your finger as if playing, and then lets go as you pull back.
The people of my order are given training, rigorous spiritual practice, and certain concoctions the druids give to us. Eventually are rendered immune to various types of disease and some poisons.
And indeed, this hemlock fairy dragon spirit doesn't seem to bother Cerberus at all.
It's an interesting thing, I think, to court death from such a young age.
Brooks will nod. I was trained among my people as a warrior, so I understand.
You were marked for it by the looks of it.
Just sort of look down. Yes.
What did they tell you to fight for, Brooks?
For the tribe. The village. The safety of everyone in it. It's good enough.
I suppose it is. We take our oaths before the oak and ash tree. Father Oak and Mother Ash. Ancient gods that came across the sea from the ancient elven continent. Brought by the sea griffin. That was the name of one of the knights in the past.
Hmm.
Another impressive bit of heraldry for a man very, very long dead.
Well, I said no oath. These marking path was chosen for me.
That's different then. I was given to the order when I was 6.
Is it really that different then?
I wanted it.
But if you had said no,
I
decided
never.
otherwise,
That's.
would you have been able to?
I don't know. Children that don't make it are usually given to the forest. Other options become available to them. But that wasn't what I was afraid of. I was afraid of disappointing myself,
Mm.
of not having the right to take the oaths, of not earning a place among my peers and brothers and sisters.
Not being worthy.
Yes. When I proved myself, it was a very joyous time. I wonder, Rialta,
Hmm.
in where I come from, the circle, the druids there, they will occasionally look to the stars, or the traveling of birds, or the entrails of dead animals for portents and wisdom. Do you believe that the stars hold portents or wisdom of the past?
I do.
What is
I have
everyone's
had to
inspo
study it
count at?
myself.
Some of the
Uh.
druids told me that some wisdom could come to them in dreams.
Dreams.
Real quick, Juxta wants to know what everyone's inspo count is at, because he's got one to give
Or
4.
And I think Melody has the highest because she sings.
Yes.
She
So-
got a
7.
bunch.
So everyone else has 4. I have 3. And yes, apparently Caldana has 0, although Caldana's not here tonight.
Womp womp.
I apologize, Sir Ferris.
Do you think there's any truth, the idea that dreams can show you something real.
Dreams. Is there something about my people with dreams? I don't remember.
People in dreams?
Yeah.
No, you believe that the past, present, and future are all written in the stars.
Okay.
I wouldn't say you have anything in particular about dreams.
Dream knowledge is not something we particularly put much stock into. I know some have spoken of visions, but dreams are. I couldn't be able to tell you. I've not had dreams of that kind. Are you saying you had a prophetic or past dream?
No, I wouldn't call it prophetic, nor would I claim that it's the knowledge of the past.
Hmm.
Just a dream. Maybe it was nothing more than that.
Mm.
A sad one, though. I saw an old friend die. 2 of them.
Are they friends you knew before you left?
I thought I did.
Hmm.
You know, when I came to the spirits or gods that I thought were Father Oak and Mother Ash, they did not, in truth, completely resemble the entities of those old tales.
You wanted
I
them to.
I think so. There were 2 of them. They were clearly bound by nature, and they were no wood nymphs. I have seen those. Well, almost seen them. You're struck blind if you look at them too closely.
Oh, note to self.
But in this fanciful dream, I saw those entities again, alongside Father Oak and Mother Ash. I saw the birth of flora and fauna. And they very much resembled the gods I saw.
Their ignition almost, except birth. Birth.
I
Usually-
suppose you could
Hmm.
call it the ignition, if that's what it truly was. It was just a dream after all. But if Father Oak and Mother Ash are here, guiding me as I had hoped, then I wonder why they would show it to me.
Mm.
And if the dream was wrong, or right, I should say, true, well, then I suppose it would not be the first time that the old stories had let me down. He sort of smiles at that. We're
Mm,
all just children at heart, I guess, no matter how
Mm.
old you get.
I see. From a historical point of view, flora and fauna are very old as far as the gods, prophets, however you wish to refer to them as. Their story of their ignition is. I don't even know if it's written down. I'd have to see. And actually, I wonder. She gets
You
her.
may look in the book.
All right, she gets Callie's first book. She assumes it'd be in book number 1.
Religion check.
Religion.
You may
check.
make it with a +4, as you have both Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Callie's Guide to Gods and Goddesses.
Flip through the index.
It should already add it. So 14 total. That's correct.
I will grant you 1 question in addition to what you already know.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you already know, and what most people know of flora and fauna, they are the twin goddesses of nature. It is said that Fauna was the children of wolves, that she was raised by wolves, and that she has dominion over animals, while her sister, Flora, her twin, although they do not look alike, supposedly. Every depiction of them shows them looking very different. Is the goddess of plants and has dominion over all things in nature. It is said that there has always been two gods or goddesses of nature, as nature is not just one thing. It is always a representation of how animal and plant intertwine with one another.
Okay.
One question.
Does it say anything about just kind of maybe their first recounts or first stories about them?
Flora and fauna are among some of the rarest gods and goddesses, which is to say they existed before the time of Scala. There are only 3 major gods and goddesses that fall back to the era before Scala and can be proven to be such. The first is indeed, and the most recent of the 3, are Flora and Fauna, who earliest reports of their exploits show up almost 200 years before Scala is born. Then there is Sale and Boss, the god of life and death. Their exploits go back. Some of the most ancient texts found mention Sale and Boss. They have no way of knowing how far back Sale and Boss go. And then there is the prime goddess herself, who, of course, all the way back to the beginning.
I'll share that. I suppose this doesn't exactly help your potential grief, Cerberus. And I don't know what the right answer truly is. But if the dream you had is at all factual, well, then I can see why you were chosen.
Oh,
You can bring the old with the new, perhaps. You have you mentioned that, everyone likes to be like children, but at the root, the heart of a child is all about pure. It's not complicated, right? It's just pure right or wrong. And the world is more complicated than that. That is what growing older means, to understand that wisdom. But there is a simplicity in that, to bring what's truly right or wrong in a world that is still maybe has forgotten.
Hmm.
I know not. But one thing I do know, in my experience with grief, is that while it will always hurt, sharing the stories of those who have passed makes them not quite disappear.
Cerberus smiles at that. There was a knight in my order, Lady Gwendolyn.
Hmm.
She would agree with you. She thought nothing was more important than stories and songs. That's the only way we do remember them these days. Well, no great loss. A knight fulfills his duty regardless of whether his charges are there. That's why it is a duty. It is carried out until the end. Thank you for listening to me. I think we're here.
I think we are.
Indeed, you
Just
arrive at
Duty
the
consume you.
You arrive at the North Gate, and up there, it is indeed the final section of road leading up to the North Gate, and indeed to your left is Bjord's Swords and Boards. In the roadway, there is a cart being prepared. There are 2 horses at the front of it. One with a beautiful brown coat, and one with a beautiful white coat. They are being tended to and prepared. You presume this is your cart. And sitting on the back of it is a halfling captain of the guard that you do recognize, who looks up and looks happy to see you. Good, you got my message, says Captain Jacqueline Sagelin.
We did.
We did.
I trust you had a better night's sleep than myself and the Inquisitor did.
Indeed, I assume we must have better. Were you also out all night with the Inquisitor?
Yes, he asked if I would be willing to lend him a hand with a quick favor. I will endeavor to remember what an elf's definition of quick is in the future.
Indeed. She kind of grimaces. Yes, I assume
That does
was...
track.
Indeed. Well, I am nevertheless glad you're here. I have your reward for bringing in the notorious criminal, Carmen Rayla, who I understand hung at dawn this morning. He rolls his eyes. But he reaches in and pulls out a bag of coins that is quite sizable and tosses it to Rialto.
How much is in here?
500 gold pieces are inside that
500.
pouch.
All right. Well,
It turns out that many counts of larceny and other public indecency incidents garners you quite a bounty.
indeed. Well, you have your. I'm just going to put this in the pot for now, but anybody can always take. It's just
Well, please keep my share, of course, as compensation for this.
no
He
worries.
holds up his coin purse and rubs it gently across Jockin's chin.
What?
He doesn't do that.
Like, what do I do with that?
I don't know what you're supposed to do.
You're going to
He
get stabbed.
He looks at him in the eyes while he does it.
Nobody ever expects the Varys Inquisition.
I guess not. But he nods. Well, where's the dragon?
Glad to do our civic duty.
She is attending to another matter that she found herself
Excuse me.
got into. It's a long story. It has to do
She's
with
buying
event.
clothes, I believe.
She is buying clothes for someone else.
Very well then. I am going to go get some sleep. I am long overdue, and I just wanted to. The reason I came up here with your reward was I wanted to say thank you. You have only been here for a short time, and in that time, you have been a boon to Minas Grove. Many who come through here in the hopes of taking from the city what they need as they travel elsewhere. I feel as though you came to the city to give what you could before you travel elsewhere. I will not forget that.
It certainly ended up that way. Glad to have done some good.
Cerberus extends his hand and grasps it. Thank you.
He shakes your hand.
Thank you, Captain, for arresting me.
Aye.
It was quite fortuitous.
Yeah, he nods. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Well, it was the second most fortunate arrest I made that day, I suppose. He winces.
I will endeavor to be the most unfortunate in the future.
Yes. Well,
There's competition. May I suggest not having your guards not begin their sentences when we arrive with, there is not another tiefling locked up here.
he just shakes his head.
Which I found, I was
Your
surprised to
messaging.
believe you often had many tieflings locked up, so
Well, I
seemed
think
unlikely that was true.
yeah.
And if one thing, Captain, that disturbs me more than the potential sort of ethnic barbarism that he was engaging in, it was the inaccuracy.
Yeah. Indeed. I think
If the man's going to be racist, he could at least be honest about it.
Yes.
What the actual fuck is this direction?
I would like to think that it was just in reference to the last few times you guys were there, it was about a tiefling, but yes, fair enough. I hope you all have a very safe trip to Moon Bay. I've never seen it myself, but I'm told it is beauty without compare. Oh, and do be careful on the road. The East Road, once you get past Lorelei's Meet, is dangerous.
We heard the southern one is better than the northern one.
It's less pleasant, but definitely safer.
Fair enough.
I've been to Winter's Grip a few times. If you're not able to take the caravan, a caravan runs the route once a week, and if you can travel with them, it's fairly safe. If you go solo, it's more dangerous, but still safer than the North Road.
Well, they would be fools to try to target us, I suppose.
We can certainly
I
take
tr-
care of ourselves.
I can turn to a chalice. I'm just
No.
kidding. I didn't say that.
What you face
God
going
damn
that
it.
way
That
is
cut
not
no
banditry.
joke. Mhm.
What do we face?
They say
Skullduggery?
that nothing that dies in the ice melt marsh stays dead. So be careful. Spirits tend to linger there.
Fascinating. I wonder if they'll talk to me.
Oh my
Oh, they likely will. They might try to eat you at the same time, though.
I just have to be faster.
Well, it has been fantastic getting to know you all, and I hope that the next time I can welcome you into Mina's Grove, it will be under happier circumstances than we had this time, but I look forward to that day.
Thank you, Captain. As they say in Moon Bay, when the moon hits your eye,
God damn it.
you're in Moon Bay. Anyway,
He just shakes his head and he just walks away.
what is a pizza pie?
Perhaps you should invent it.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not sure I know what it is.
Research trip.
While you, as you are there, there is a stable hand who is fixing the cart. He explains to you that you have been these two horses have been requisitioned for you. They are young, but good horses, and they will bear you without much issue to Moon Bay, at least that far, as long as you take care of them. Their names are Cinnamon and Sugar.
Which
That's
one
adorable.
is cinnamon?
Infuriatingly, the white one.
I thought
I'm
so.
never gonna remember
I
that.
thought so. I kind of knew.
It's infuriating.
I
He-
knew
It's
he
it
so
nods.
inside.
obvious.
He nods. Unfortunately, there was a issue with the paperwork, and by the time we figured out, they'd learned their names. So,
Well.
yeah, it was unfortunate, but they're
They're
good
not
horses.
sugar.
While that's happening, Melody.
Can I
Yeah.
please,
Mhm.
please go get my armor and just pay this motherfucker off
Yeah,
when this happens?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're acting like it's okay. I have ADHD and I haven't
Okay.
had my medication in 2 days. And if
Okay.
I do not hear verbatim that the gold gets paid
Yeah.
and the armor is retrieved,
Yes.
I will lose my mind.
Cerberus, you
Yeah.
may subtract 100 gold out of your inventory and
Thank
add a set
God.
of full plate armor.
Thank you.
Okay.
That has added such relief to my life.
Okay. Melody.
Yeah.
As you are following Carmen along, you now have a nice collection of clothes for young Melisandre. And finally, you reach your destination. Before you, you see a small, simple temple, a one-story building made from stone with a statue out front. The statue features a short woman with a brilliant smile. She wields no weapon, but holds a massive kite shield, as large as her body, and she uses it to defend the temple behind her. Adorned on the shield is a heart. By this, you can infer that this is the temple to Delenfer, goddess of perseverance.
I see.
Carmen nods to Melisandre. There is a priestess, Anna, in here, and she is going to be your teacher. Melisandre seems excited about that. And slowly, she walks Melisandre up the path towards the temple. Do you follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they
Checking.
Callie, just to help with the ambiance, are they singing any hymns, perhaps? in
Not
this
at the moment.
temple?
They're not at the
Okay.
moment. Inside this temple, there is a small aisleway with 2 pews on either side. It's a very small temple. At the center is a lectern with a simple basket in front of it for donations. Sitting atop the lectern is a large leather-bound book, and you can see a few worshippers, not priests, but worshippers, who are lined up and are writing in this book. As you look around, you can also see some commotion, as a number of priestesses seem to be hurrying around, and 2 of them are guarding a door to your right. Carmen looks a little surprised at the commotion as people are running around. She tries to flag one down. Excuse me. And the priestess stops and looks at you three. Oh, are you with the city guard? Are you with the guild? And Carmen gives a look towards Melody. I don't think so. No. Oh, well, so sorry. We had a little bit of an issue. Are you here to write in the book? And Carmen again blinks and shakes her head. No, should we write in the book? Blinks. Well, I don't know. That's up to you.
I'm sorry, we're not familiar with the practice of this temple.
Ah, oh, of course. Well, let me. She nods quickly, realizing it is her duty. Well, the story goes that before her spark ignited, our patron, Benice Tomal, had a very dark time in her life, and during that time, it was a collection of her friends that gathered together and gifted unto her a book that had all things, messages of love and things that they liked about her in it. And so even today, within her temples, her worshippers leave messages for one another and for those in the community who need it. That is one of the practices that our temple has undertaken since her time, actually. Harmon nods. Oh, all right, fair enough. Well, no, we're here looking for Priestess Anna. She nods. Over by the door. By the door, there are two priestesses standing there. One of them looks tired, like she's been there for quite a while. The other one looks a little more spooked, you would say.
Spooked? Like,
Yeah, she looks a little freaked out.
sorry, I'm having like a real fucking conflict of character here.
I understand.
Melody's gonna look over to Carmen and Melisandre and go,
Sorry, do you guys uh, did did they say what this teacher look like?
Carmen glances over the two priestesses. The one that looks tired is also blind. You can tell looking at her eyes, and she nods. I would assume her.
okay. And at that, I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna lead Melisandre over and just kind of like the priestess is she sitting down?
No, they're both standing and seem to be guarding a door.
Okay.
As you approach, the more freaked out looking one looks up. She glances down at the young girl. Well, looks to the large dragonborn on the other hand. Are you here to get rid of it?
What?
Are you here to get rid of the thing in there?
What thing?
The ghost.
Ghost?
Melisandre's like, what? I didn't hear. I wasn't told about ghosts. She's not happy.
There's a ghost?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it is. Yes. Anna glances over. It's not a ghost. It's a thief. She looks very tired. Hi. I am Priestess Anna. This is Priestess Orla. She is young and impressionable and prone, I'm afraid, to jumping to conclusions. And she...
But what
looks-
if you really did have a ghost?
She glances over at the room. I don't know. Maybe we do.
Hmm.
Well, can I help you with something? As you're not here to exorcise the ghost.
Um, well, we were told to meet with someone who can teach little Melisandre how to read and write.
Oh, yes, that's right. I saw the message this morning. Uh, well, apologies. My name is Priestess Anna. I, uh, uh, she motions to herself. I was born unable to see, and indeed, learning to read and write was a something of a process. But through no shortage of perseverance, it is all things are possible.
And and you'd be able to impart that same knowledge over to Melisandre?
um, Melisandre like lifts her hand up as if she wants to like make herself known, and this woman reaches down and is able to feel her hand and nods. Uh, if she's willing to work, it is something of a taxing process. She will need to learn a degree of magic. However, yes, if she is willing to put the work in, I can teach her.
Oh, um, I've only known her for a little bit, but from what I have seen, she is a hard worker, and my companion here can also vouch for that.
Carmen nods as she walks over. Indeed, she's. I've only known her a short time. However, no. She has no aversion to effort to work. I don't think she'll cause you any problems. And she has a place to stay and food and meals provided. And I'd be happy to make a donation to the temple for your time. And Anna nods. That is very kind. Unnecessary, but very kind of you. Well, then, young lady, let us see if you have any aptitude for magic, and we will begin from there. If you two would excuse us. And she takes Melisandre's hand, and you can tell she has been in this temple for a very long time. She knows every step. They are all memorized. She has a map of this place in her head as she guides Melisandre down across the hall to another room that they enter into. Carmen, meanwhile, looks to this person. What do you mean exactly by there's a ghost in there? I, can you get it out?
I mean, it depends.
I-
Would you be able to tell us more if you're able to?
Yeah, this morning I came in. That book is or sorry, that room is our storage room. We keep books in there. She motions over to the leather-bound tome. When we fill up one of those tomes, it goes in there, and many of our writings of Delenfer and Benis Tomal are all in there. I was wondering, but I went in to check this morning, and there was a man in there, and I could see through him. He flickered almost like a candle. It was strange.
Can wait. Am I even trained in that? No, but I am jack of all trades. Could I roll an Arcana check to?
You could. Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna try and deduce, like if there's like any kind of magic. So that's a 12.
Um, yeah, you do know. I mean, of some spells that might do that. I mean, you can think of just when you saw Melisandre for the first time, she almost flicked in and out of existence just by her chameleon cloak that she had. However, what she's describing is something like a candle, like the end of a candle. You don't know of a spell that does that.
Okay.
Carmen finally glances over. You fought fiends, right? I mean, we fought those things. Like, this can't be worse.
Not really. But those things were like solid. This is sounding more like a between thing.
You can do magic, right?
I dabble,
All right.
sort of.
The
Mom taught me a lot.
priestess nods. Okay. Well, uh, she nods and goes over and unlocks the door and motions it open. Carmen glances over at you. I'll go first.
And I pull out my lute, knock a bolt in it.
I got your back.
And you both creep into this room. As it was described, it is a book repository. There are bookshelves on every wall of this room. 2 of them on the far wall have tome upon tome upon tome of these massive leather-bound books that you saw on the lectern. Some of the other ones have scrolls that date back hundreds of years, probably. Some of them have just not obviously not a Bible, but collections of the teachings of their patron and of their deity. There's artwork on the walls of Delenfer and what she supposedly looks like when she deigns to appear to people. And indeed, in the center of the room, there is a man who is looking through a book. He is a man of average height. He has facial hair, a mustache, and a beard. His head, the sides are shaven, and there's only the top that isn't shaven. It's brown hair that is kind of swooshed over to the side, and in the sides of it, there are markings or scars that seem to be carved into the sides of his head. And indeed, as he is looking through this, he seems to be flickering, as occasionally he seems to disappear and then reappear immediately after, or fade in and out of existence, and then return as he is looking through through the pages of this book. Carmen
I'm gonna
glances at Melody, like she shrugs.
and I'm just gonna mimic talking before I speak up.
Hello.
He looks up, startled, and for a moment, there is another him that seems to pull out of the side of his head before snapping back in. And then he grabs the book and holds it against his chest, and he vanishes and fades out of existence.
Do I have enough time to cast Dispel Magic when I see him do that?
You may cast a spell magic on him.
Okay. Don't think I need to roll for anything for that, but let me see.
As long as
Um,
it's 3rd level or something.
Yeah, it depends
less.
on the effective level of the spell. If the effective level of the effect or whatever is 3rd level or less, then you don't roll. Otherwise, it is. I
it
don't
is
know
an
what it's.
ability check.
Yep.
DC is 15.
There does not seem to be a spell or magical effect upon him
Hmm.
as he vanishes. and is
He's
gone.
got a classic case of stretch face.
And he
And the book he took with him is also gone?
the book did indeed disappear with him. It is gone. But he seems gone. The room doesn't have any sort of bad feelings in it. Certainly not like what you experienced in the mine or in New Alcana. There doesn't seem anything wrong with it. It's just gone. Carmen looks at you. Well, that seemed easy.
That was weird.
That was definitely weird. And she goes back out to talk to the priestess and just says, "Well, he ran away. He's gone." She nods. Will he come back? I don't know.
For a ghost, he seemed pretty spooked.
Yeah, he seemed more scared of us, I would say. But he's gone for now. You need not worry. She bows her head graciously. Thank you. That's kind. And for those of you who might like to see more of that character, you'll be able to tune in next week to our Scholar Rain campaign.
I was gonna
That
fucking
character-
say I was.
That character will be played by Robbie Landis.
Good
Yup.
lord,
Yup.
no.
God damn it!
From the past to the future.
He said he wanted to be a worshiper of Delenfer, and I'm like, I'll find some way to get you a book.
Of course he
Uh,
Of course he fucking did.
after
I
that,
love it.
Asshole.
In favor of.
after that, you find out that indeed Melisandre, as a human girl, does indeed have at least some talent in the arcane, as all humans do. And she will be able to learn the basic spells that she will need to mimic the magics that Priestess Anna does. Priestess Anna tells you that she will begin Melisandre's training immediately, and to have Ella pick her up when the sun goes down. She will, until this girl is able to read and write, she will teach her every other day from sunup to sundown.
Nice.
You know what? You're right. I did fucking hate that.
I told you you would. I told you Melody would not, but you would.
There were it was so difficult staying in character for this.
So, blessed by Delenfer, you all leave the temple.
Blessed by who?
Delenfer, the goddess of
Delenfer.
We
perseverance.
didn't do shit.
No, but we're singing the hymn though. Beneath Tomal.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Beneath Tomal.
So,
Liliana is fucking paying for this.
So you make your way. You two both actually head up to the north gate because she's leaving out the same gate as you. And she tells you, "Yeah, I'll be able to accompany you as far as South Cross. Actually, from there I'll continue north up the Hard Silver Road as you guys turn east. But I can at least take you that far." Oh, wow, Dolva, thank you for the inspo.
Mal deserves an
Oh.
inspo for dealing with this.
Sorry, that one went to Mal. Mal takes one
Dealing with
inspiration.
this.
God. Thank you for the inspo.
As you arrive at
He
the,
only has like 19 now. I hope.
Okay.
No, I have 7.
Oh, sorry.
you arrive at the north gate, Melody, and are able to meet up with your companions.
Were you able to take care of things for Melisandre?
Mm-hmm. And we also caught. Well, I think I scared a ghost.
Scared a ghost.
I think.
Does Rialta believe that ghosts exist?
I mean, we met a demon.
Yeah, I was like,
I know,
the
but is
things
that
you've
the
seen
same?
recently, I feel like you would believe a
Spirit-
ghost
Okay.
exists.
Well, also
Ah.
in a D&D world, generally, like spirits are just a thing.
For sure. Yeah. just wanted to
No,
check.
I don't think it would surprise you too. Like, it might surprise you that she scared one away. I don't think it surprises you that she saw one.
Well, if you spooked one away, that is strange. They usually prey upon children.
Well, it's usually the opposite for sure. Normally they do the spooking.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I said. But he was more like intent with one of the books that they had. Like they had like a lot of books in there.
Hmm.
Perhaps
I
he
didn't
was
get.
a haunted librarian.
Oh, I mean, he was in the temple.
Which temple?
It was the Delenfer one.
Oh, I love that one. They have a song. I love that song.
They have a song.
Yeah, it goes beneath Tomal.
This
She's
very
gonna try
catchy.
and like
Beneath
strum along with
Tomal.
it.
Oh god.
Everything's fine. Oh yeah, beneath
It's
Tomal.
Not a very good song, but like.
I think it's quite catchy,
Wow.
personally.
I think it's quite catchy. Well,
You all begin
Mm,
to pack up and prepare to head out.
I put on my new
Mhm.
armor that
You
I've
do?
paid off
let's
now.
say I'll get everything ready because I think outside of Melody, nobody else has traveled quite as much.
I
There
would
was
agree.
there was another thing that we were gonna do before we leave, but we can go if we have to go.
I'm sorry. What was the other thing?
Well, I know that for 50 gold we can get that piece of ore smithed into a
can.
weapon.
You can.
So we have to talk about who to make a +1 weapon for. Now, Cerberus will already cast himself aside because he has this armor, and if he makes enough money, he can buy probably a moon glowy sword. So that's fine. But +1 weapon, we could either make a great sword or a great axe with an X, not
Yes.
2 S's. Melody giggling in the corner. To address. So I thought we could.
Essentially, it would make the most sense given
And
the weapon
dollars.
for Caldana or Brux to
Right.
take that.
Yes. So
That's the point we are trying to make.
So
S-
50
so
gold
that-
pieces plus a Minazor gets you a +1 weapon. That was the deal.
So it
Wait.
feels like this is a discussion that should not be happening this particular week.
That's
One
the
of
only-
the people in question isn't
I was
here.
gonna say, would Moonbay people be able to use that ore, or does it have to be here?
No, you
Or
could
what?
do it anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it in
Okay.
Moonbay for sure.
Put a pin in that simply because Caldana is currently
mean, I
having an
figured we-
out-of-body experience.
that's fine. I mean, I figured. Listen, I had confidence in us, but it's all right. It's fine. We'll wait.
Robbie
for
doesn't
Sean.
like leaving threads of magic items.
I believed in us, but it's fine. We
Caldana's
shall
not
hold off
here.
this quest till next time.
Yes. We'll have Caldana and Brux explain why they deserve the +1 weapon.
They might explain why the other one deserves it.
That's
for all
actually
I know.
probably
I
what's
was
gonna
gonna say
happen.
that is probably exactly what's gonna happen.
Which is going to be worse.
Oh,
All three
Sorry.
people that it would be relevant to do so are gonna be like, no, they deserve.
What's up, Callie? What's going on?
No, I accidentally showed the wrong screen.
How disappointing.
Now we can do this.
Before Carmen,
Oh god, why is it doing this? What the fuck? I accidentally showed like literally my DM notes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
screenshot.
does it say Delenfer's the final boss?
Because apparently Liliana has a death wish.
Well, no, this is a time-honored JRPG tradition.
That's
At the
right.
end, you kill God.
That's right. It turns
is
out that the
true.
real villain was the friends we made along the way. Is that how that
please
goes?
fucking release
right?
her.
Did I do that right?
Honestly, I think that'd be a
That's-
cool twist. That would
That's
be
what
quite
Delenfer
the.
Sweet
comes out and goes,
embrace of death.
The
I was gonna
book
say,
of
that-
happiness is the book of life.
All right, hold up. We're gonna
That
fix
would
this
certainly
real quick.
be an interesting in the moment twist.
And then we find out that Delenfer's just like an orb that rotates clockwise and
Oh, God
counterclockwise
damn it.
and summons doom and shit. We're just like,
Nope,
put
that's definitely
90
not the right
hours
one.
into
What the
this.
fuck?
I put 90 hours. The visual designer put 90 seconds.
90 seconds. They didn't care at all. No, it does 9999 damage every turn. Is that combat design? Is that good?
That's a lot
Is
of
that-
nines.
Is that good though?
All right, we are we're good now. So I want to switch over this page because as you are all preparing to head out, you hear a voice call out, "Wait!" A man is running down the street towards you. The street to your west. He is running down that street towards you. When he arrives, he seems out of breath, and as he looks up, you can see the exhausted face of Inquisitor Sunvale. His eyes have dark circles under them, and it's apparent that he did not sleep the night before. And I can now finally show you all, looks like this.
He handsome.
This is
Ooh.
Inquisitor Martin Sunvale.
Sir!
Jeez.
He
That
is
was aggressive.
Ooh, look at that jawline.
Right.
yeah, he is in the words of Serena, yummy.
He is, in the words of TikTok, a high-value male.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say
Right.
scrumptious, but
That's-
also
Well, we're done here.
That's so funny.
So you see indeed Martin Sunvale approaching. However, he does not look exactly how he does in this picture. He looks very tired. His eyes indeed have circles underneath them, and while he is normally extremely prim and proper, as you see him here, in this his sleeves are rolled up, his tie is loosened. He looks like he has had a very long night.
Inquisitor
Telling me he's got
Sunvale,
that
You
that
don't look
tussled
so
look.
good.
I am sorry to see how the knight treated you after
I
we
thought you
spoke
said he
last
looked
night.
scrumptious.
I mean, in that picture he sure does. But he nods as he yawns first, and then shakes head. Apologies. Let me a moment to catch my breath. I heard you were leaving and had lost track of time. Uh,
Did you get bean juice?
Not yet, but I am certainly about to.
I
Elves don't
recommend going to
traditionally eat beans for
Hilda's.
breakfast.
Well, I understand you are preparing to leave, and he nods to Carmen as well, and you towards your mission. I wish you all the best of luck. It has been a somewhat trying night here, and I'm afraid I will be here longer than I wish. I have to go report to the Grand Inquisitor in just a moment.
Rialta grimaces at that, remembering last night.
He notices your grimace, and he gives you a nod. It is going to be an unfortunate report, I'm afraid.
And Melody's gonna go gonna tilt her head and just go,
Wait, aren't you the Grand Inquisitor?
He smiles at that. No. No, I am one of 17 inquisitors in Lockheed's Inquisition.
You could have fooled me.
I will take that as a compliment. No, I am I was the inquisitor assigned to this particular case and sent down here to evaluate the situation and get it under control. However, the Grand Inquisitor is based out of Stone's Throw and is the one who directs both us and our guard around. In ancient times, and hundreds of years ago, the Inquisition had well over 2,000 people in it. Now we would be lucky to pass 250. So resources have to be somewhat carefully distributed. But I'm afraid I am likely to have to call for reinforcements shortly.
Reinforcements? Did you find evidence of demonic subterfuge, summoning,
perk up
or...
at that.
I'm afraid so. And within Lockheed's Haven, one of the tieflings we spoke told us of 3 younger tieflings, 3 people. As my understanding is they are all between 12 and 16.
Oh no.
They apparently were, they were frequently seen in the company of Kuldan when he was still here. However, they did not go with him. When we went to find them, they were hidden. We don't know if they are not in the Haven or if someone is hiding them yet. And unfortunately, in their house, we found a trapdoor, and beneath it, a summoning circle. So things grow more complicated by the minute, unfortunately. I fear my time here is not at its end, but I will continue to do the best that I can. Protocol would dictate some rather extreme measures. However, I will be. I have decided to pursue other means for now. Those extreme measures, given the circumstance, I do not foresee them going well, given the already inflamed tensions within Stone's Throw and the inflamed tensions, well, anytime you deal with a tiefling community.
The delicate balance of eliminating sources of fear without creating more sources of it.
To an extent. The more pressing concern, normally when this would happen, say if the Widow's Revenge were found to be harboring people who were doing this sort of thing, the process, we would, as you saw when you first came here, we would have them all, not arrested, but detained, taken outside, put into holding, until we could thoroughly investigate each and every one of them and search their area. I don't have to be a tiefling to know that if we attempt to do that same process with Lockheed's Haven, it will not lead to anything good.
Oh, they're not going to be happy about that.
Nor anyone else.
They're very sensitive, I've noticed.
If
it is not even that they are sensitive, they have every right to be. They should be. When things involving armed guards and their communities happen, it seldom goes well.
Well, I don't know if this will help, but I was meaning to do this before we left. Um, if you go to the markets and you find a stall, um, uh,
Jackson.
near yeah, Jackson, and there's like um there's like a pastry stall next to them, run by a woman named Hilda.
Hmm.
I actually have something that I was going to send over to the Lockheed's Haven. It
Hmm.
was like um supplies and stuff, so they didn't need
Hmm.
to go out for stuff. If you want, you can take that as a kind of peace offering and tell them it's from me. That could help warm them up to you.
Hmm.
I suppose it couldn't hurt as an olive branch. I My strategy is to work with the matriarch directly. She seems determined to be cooperative and to work with us. To that end, I am going to attempt to continue this investigation while, well, while she is, or while without bringing in reinforcements. My superior will no doubt have a problem with that and will send reinforcements either way. So I must have this investigation completed by the time he gets here. To that end, I only have precious few moments to speak before I must return. I understand you're preparing to leave. You're taking the south road to Moon Bay.
That is the plan.
Very well. You'll take the Hard Silver Road north out of here to South Cross, and then start heading east towards Lorelei's Meet. I urge all caution once you reach the ice melt marshes. They are strange places.
So we've
Yes.
heard.
Rialto hopes to speak with them.
I do.
I would
The
not.
living dead,
Oh.
that is.
Yeah, I would not.
Oh. She
the-
deflates.
At Lorelei's Meet, you can either go north or south. North will be faster. South safer. I'm sure you've been told. That said, the northern path is significantly quicker. You just, well, mind the Fae. They can be tricky.
Fae, you say?
Indeed, the Fae Forest is home to the Fae. In a strange place.
As one might imagine.
I think I passed that place. That's the place with like the funky looking trees, right?
It is. Yes, that is correct. Once you, if you go south, you will reach Winter's Grip. From there, you can go take the northern road to Bleakman's Burrow, which is where the north path out of Lorelei's Meet will take you. And from Bleakman's Burrow, it's just a simple trip north to Moon Bay. The whole trip, 4 days if you go north out of the Fey Forest. 5 or 6 days if you go south towards Winter's Grip first. But that's about how long it will take.
Well, then we should be on our way. I know that you have
Agreed.
things to accomplish as well.
When you arrive, you will need to speak with Onredo Tsuki. She can be a difficult one to obtain an audience with. Seems to think. I apologize. I should have written you an introductory letter. That would have made this so much easier. I'm sorry. I'm not usually so disorganized.
Oh, I was going to ask, like, didn't you have like a message that you wanted us to give to her?
Yes. He checks around. Doesn't anyone have a piece of parchment or something that I could write on for you?
Rialto gives her one of
Yes.
just tears a piece of one of her journals and just offers it.
Excellent. Thank you.
As a
I am
matter
never
of
be-
fact.
I am never bereft of paper.
He takes out a feather quill from his jacket. You also notice something that you did not see on him before when you were talking to him. He never had it on before. He has a sword on his hip that he has not had before. It is a very nice looking sword. It is a beautiful cherry wood scabbard, and the ending of it is done in gold, and is
What kind of sword?
it is a it's a long sword, double bladed, or sorry,
Okay.
edged on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice longsword. But he takes a step forward and starts to write rather quickly as he scrawls something down. And then he nods, folds it up, and hands it to you, Rialta.
She will put it down. Introduction letter to Sukiko. I'll put it in our quest items.
I love that you call her Sukiko.
Sorry. Suki, right?
Onre Suki. Yep, Suki. Well, it has been wonderful getting to know you all. I hope that I will see you again very soon. You have been, well, I have a good feeling about all of you. Oh, on that note, he takes from his pocket 2 sending stones and taps them together once before handing you one of them. If you ever need to reach me, you can do so with this. I anticipate I'll be quite busy over the next few days, and I do have about 30 of those in the field at the moment, so I will do my best to respond as I am able to.
Of course.
Fair enough.
We appreciate it. Best of luck here, and Inquisitor Sunvale, if I may make an unofficial suggestion, you will need sleep at some point to be at peak performance.
I have no doubt. I will
Indeed.
attempt to find sleep as soon as I am able. For only needing 4 hours of it, I still don't seem to get enough of it.
Well, again, like if you need a break, I very much recommend Hilda's stuff.
I will look into it as I go to pick up these groceries.
She
Thank
makes
you.
this. Oh, actually,
And she kind of like rummages through
No.
her coin purse and hands Sunvale like 2 gold.
you you should get a latte.
He
Latte.
he looks at it and then folds your hand back up to let you keep the coins. Consider that 2 curses paid for by the Inquisition. And he winks and turns and starts to walk away, and then turns one more time. Oh, and don't let the Onredo give you any crap.
I'm sorry?
Right.
Such as.
You said a bad word.
I think that was probably the summation of it. Just don't let her give us any crap.
He nods. She can be stubborn
Mm.
and
Mm.
he seems to be considering his words very carefully here. She can be both stubborn and imposing. Don't let her give you a hard time.
Rails
Noted.
just nods. I know how to deal with people with like that. Just write something down.
And he holds his hand up above his head, waving as he walks off.
Bye.
Have-
Bye.
From seeing
Get
the
some
other
sleep.
from seeing the other Inquisition folks, do they have any sort of like particular salute or anything?
Yeah, they do. It's a simple salute of standing at
Yeah, like
attention.
this.
Clicking, bringing their boots together and bringing one arm up to the right side,
All right, we'll do that.
as if raising a shield aloft.
Well, we will salute them.
He does the same for you.
Goodness, how embarrassing. I'll be right back, everyone.
Hmm.
Cerberus sort of skips down a ways to where Sunvale is, a little
Oh.
bit away from the party.
He glances over.
Master Inquisitor,
Cerberus.
the songs say that in the past, during Scala's reign, if one was perchance at risk of either possession or working with the enemy, adult or child, the sentence was usually the same. You don't think something like that would be necessary in this case for these young people, do you?
He pauses for a moment and thinks about that. It has been a long time since I have done any studying on the Order of Oak and Ash, other than cursory interests given our similar lineage. Tell me, when a mistake, when a terrible decision is made within the Order of Oak and Ash, what is the punishment?
When that decision results in demons, Purification by fire.
So too often is it with us, although not always.
Yeah.
There's a degree of corruption, even from blood magic, that can be purified without taking life. It is painful, but it is survivable.
Good.
Did you know that a inquisitor who has slain a dread demon is allowed to carry a inquisitor's blade?
He
And
looks
he
down.
he nods.
Not.
I am one of two living inquisitors who has slain a dread demon. This is my sword redemption. I take that name very seriously, Cerberus. I believe in it very strongly.
Well, then I consider these people fortunate, sir. And the children, too. I know they are in good hands.
Indeed. If it is within my power that they not have to die for this, then they shall not. But know too that if it is not within my power, then it will be redemption that takes their lives nonetheless.
Of course. A purity of purpose. As old as oak and ash.
One my mother has instilled in me since the time I was very young.
Thank you, Inquisitor Sunvale. I won't disturb you further.
Anytime, Cerberus. It has been most interesting to meet a former brother in arms.
It has. It has.
Safe travels to Moon Bay.
And to you. And protection, both in body and in spirit.
He nods.
Cerberus will return to the caravan.
Mhm.
Well, that was upsetting. I didn't forget what I thought I forgot. Cerberus looks back and forward very unconvincingly.
I
He's
see.
he's not good at lying.
Just continuing
Is
to
there?
look at the cart and everything,
Uh-huh.
ignoring completely.
Well, I am certainly glad you did not forget what you thought you forgot.
Insight check.
Yes. I don't know that one would be needed.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, the DC is a 5.
Was
Oh, actually, hold on. I have to roll that at a disadvantage because one of my flaws is I'm quite
You're
fucking
dense.
gullible.
oh
Okay, well the DC is a 5. You made it.
uh
Yeah, it's not very convincing.
did Inquisitor Sunvale help you find what you thought you forgot but didn't forget?
Yes. He did. This place is in good hands.
You feel assured.
Yes. As much as one can be in times like this.
Did you tell him to get sleep? Because I think he kind of needs some.
He does, but of course my people and his have an advantage. It takes half the time for him to recuperate his strength that it would many of the rest of you. So,
Oh, I have heard such things.
Useful that.
Very
it is. Particularly in the ever-going struggle against demonic forces.
indeed. Very useful for that.
Well, let's get on this sugar and spice and everything horse, or whatever they're called.
It's
And,
sugar and cinnamon and sugar.
That's right. Cinnamon, sugar, and buttercup is the last one.
Well, there isn't a third one, but if there is, we can certainly call them Buttercup.
I remember something about them dedicating their lives to fight the forces of evil. Professor Utonium? No?
That was your
I might be giving
was your
lack of sleep
dream.
myself.
Yes, that was your dream.
My mistake. Very well.
Very fanciful dream. You should write that into something. It'd be quite popular.
Don't think that I have the broad penmanship skills necessary to...
Oh, just speak. I'll write it.
Oh,
Next
alright
you're
then.
going to tell me they're going to fight a monkey.
No. That sounds like a bunch of just... I don't know.
Malarkey.
Brouhaha?
Malarkey and mojo. Alright.
So, give me just one quick moment here.
Yeah.
It turns out my credit card that was on file for for my Google Docs apparently is no longer
Oh,
So
because it's just expired. The credit card
So,
expired.
so you
Are
can't
they,
access
are they
I can't
Google
holding
access my
Docs?
your
Google
docs
Docs.
hostage?
Yeah.
That's so strange.
Put
I've
'em on
never
my
heard.
show.
I've never heard of that before.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's
Well,
how I
then-
get you.
Okay,
Is
that
it-
is the
you have-
weirdest thing.
You have to pay for like more than a certain amount of storage, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
hold up
imagine
here.
that's the case.
I think we should be okay now. Good.
'Cause,
May I use my documents in peace, please?
As soon as the check
What a-
clears.
what a strange hiccup.
That is. No, okay, the other two documents all became accessible again. Why not the one I need?
They know it. They're holding
Rat
it.
bastards.
Yeah,
You're
they,
gonna need to pay an extra $1.99 a month. You want this bad boy?
that's so annoying. It's so
Ooh,
bizarre.
yeah.
All right, hold up. One sec.
Anyway, so we're not quite leaving just yet. Cinnamon and Sugar need to finish eating, apparently.
Oh,
It's
yes,
very
I'm rather hungry as well. I feel like I didn't have a good breakfast.
Ah, your
I can
appetite has returned. Most
you if
fortunate.
you'd like.
You could what? I'm
I
sorry.
can fix you up a note bag of your own if you'd like.
Rares looks. No, I've slept in enough stables in this place.
That being said, did we buy supplies
What?
like food? Can we say we did?
Well, we've got rations in the pack that
Okay.
we've like never used. So
Okay.
I
good.
mean, Melody came from the market. She could.
You
fix
bought
it.
some.
There's enough stuff going on that we can presumably
Presumably
have
have
with
done it.
that
we can forge.
unless
Sir
Tyler
Varus
really
thinks
wants us
forge.
to make another
Forge?
shopping trip.
Yeah, Sir good idea is that we can forge. He is not as good at the nature check as he thinks he is.
Oh, we also will document and go, you should try the berries. I hear that if you try it and you don't feel anything for an hour, they are safe to eat.
I feel something immediately.
Mm.
Hmm.
Don't eat them.
All right,
I'm-
I have regained access to my document.
Just
Fantastic.
violently explosive diarrhea.
How'd you're immune to diseases?
So,
Like literally explosive.
Yeah, it's magic.
Sorry.
It was
Sorry
a
about-
magic berry.
Wait,
It was a
um,
magic butt boom berry, and
Don't eat that.
it got me.
have we lost sight of Inquisitor
goal?
Sunvale?
The point.
if you have something that you want to say to him, you can. Yes.
No, I'm going to drag him to the market because there is one thing that Melody forgot,
Okay.
and she is going back for it.
Okay.
All right. You all wait at the gate while Melody drags Inquisitor Sunvale somewhere.
Yeah, I have explosive.
And he looks
butt berry
annoyed.
blast.
Where'd you forage that from?
Ah, it was underneath the horses.
All right. Melody, what do you do with Inquisitor Sunvale?
I'm taking him to Hilda.
Big berry.
Okay.
We're getting lattes.
All right. The two of you do find your way to Jackson's Grocery and Hilda's Thanks a Latte. And you are able to acquire 2 lattes, one for yourself and one for him, to which he is like, you realize that like people might die, right? But then he sips it and is like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, this is pretty good. He seems pleased, actually, as he sips at it. He's like,
Does Hilda
Dude.
sell any specialty cups?
I told you.
He thinks for a moment. Melody, you are a very unique individual. I have not met many Dragonborn. I have never been assigned to the Soren Mountain Range, though I understand some Inquisitors have been over the years. I think you will like Moon Bay. It
I don't
is-
think I've ever been that far north.
It is beautiful. It sits on the bay the moon kissed. It's worth noting that the humans named it Moon Bay. We named the bay.
You need to be.
We did when we first arrived here, many, many hundreds of years ago. However, that is neither here nor there. I must get back to my work. Melody, safe travels.
The Inquisitor said such a good job.
And you
Because-
be nice to those people. You can't be nice if you're grumpy. And I hope that this I like to call it the cup of happiness. It's in a cup. It makes me happy. And then I don't know. I kind of black out at one point.
That's addictive behavior.
He
Yeah.
gives a concerned look at the cup that Hilda's like, no. And he's
That's
like,
her.
all
I'm
right.
not in the habit of roofying my patient.
Yeah, be it.
Yeah, seriously.
But
Okay.
I cut
I get
that
like a
out.
very, very good feeling. Like my thoughts go a million miles a minute kind of deal.
Still sounding like roofing.
You are high on caffeine, my dear.
What's that?
It is a stimulant.
I
What
feel
happens when the moon hits
stimulated.
your eye?
I would imagine you would. Well, safe travels, Melody, and I will see you, well, hopefully sooner than later. And he exits the markets.
One coffee every 30 day with a
Bye
prescription.
bye.
So,
And while that was happening, we were having a discussion of what to do with that ore, and it'll all be solved.
And
by
it'll
the
be solved by the time we
of
yeah.
course, of
Yeah.
course.
And I was going, no, the song is When the Moon Hits Your Eye Like a Big Pizza Pie. I've heard this a million times.
So,
You should just say like a big rhubarb pie.
Gross.
More realistic than a pizza pie.
I agree, but just it's... Hey, I do have one. I'm so sorry, but Callie, when you were writing this, just out of raw curiosity, did you think that 2.5 hours to get on the road was that your idea? Was that your thought process when you were developing it? Did you go, well, thank God I've got all this content because it's gonna take a minute, and Rob's really gonna want to make sure the armor happens, and
well, we're not going to get to half of it. So, no, I did
Half?
not think it would be two
we
and a half hours.
nailed it, guys. We got through half. This is the most efficient party I've ever been a part of.
Oh god.
When the moon is out.
All right, we're gonna. You know, you do have the power to mute Robbie. I just want to remind you of that.
They do at
No.
work. That's not ironic. I get kicked from actual meetings.
Yeah.
Callie's face in the stream is just
It's
priceless.
it's mute juxta all over.
She-
It is. It really is.
She met him before she met me. Just want to remind everybody. And so she willingly
It's true.
She chose this.
she chose
That's
this.
She chose this.
Many times over.
You chose this multiple times.
All right,
Must
sorry.
have been a hell of a nut. Anyway. So. Whoops. Is that TOS? Where are we? Whoops. Anyway. South Road.
Things I don't need my brother saying live in front of people. My sex life.
We're on the South Road. We're on the South Road with sugar and spice. Whoops.
All right.
I love you.
I think Mel and I need a moment.
Okay.
You fucking free.
The worst part is like this is not the weirdest thing I've heard him say. So I'm sitting here being like, oh, come on.
I'm getting invited to the campaign.
Oh my god.
I'm just amused.
All right.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So, you all depart out the north gate along the hard silver road on the way to South Cross. It is as I say, lovely day as you are all departing, although instead of leaving in the bright early morning hours as I expected, it's closer to noon as you're departing. You start making your way up the south road, and indeed, the road here is very nice, super easy to travel on. It's almost all cobblestone. It is one of the few what we would call today not paved, but laid stone roads of this continent. And you know that it runs all the way from Mina's Reach through Mina's Grove up through South Cross and onwards towards Stone's Throw. Likely indeed to facilitate transports of large amounts of hard silver up from the mountains. So, it is a lovely day. There's hardly a cloud in the sky. I do have a question for you, Rialta.
Yes.
Do you read the letter?
Is it sealed?
It is not. I mean, he had no time to seal it. He just.
Oh
filled it
yeah,
in.
yeah. I'll read it.
All right.
Rude.
I love it.
Federal offense.
Doesn't even think about it.
No,
Rios is just
Will-
like
will there be- is there no-
SpongeBob and Patrick
Is there
pouring
no-
over the fucking mouth.
is there no evidence that it has been tampered with? Great. I'm reading it.
Okay. You open this letter. One thing that surprised you immediately is how nice the handwriting is for how fast you saw him writing. Like, he's pretty good with a pen, apparently.
Very attractive. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's good with other things too. Sorry, keep
It-
going.
It reads, this letter reads, Onredo Tsuki, my sincerest apologies for not being able to meet with you in person. I should very much have liked to continue our discussion from last time. I remain unconvinced and look forward to the next time we cross paths. Allow me to introduce to you Caldana Aristotter, Rialta Folknir, Melody of the Ivory, Brux Ottelborn, and Cerberus of the Order of Oak and Ash. They have proven themselves brave, strong, and have stood against enemies both mortal and fiendish in nature. As such, I have deputized their group into Lockheed's Inquisition. They will bring you up to speed on the recent events in Minas Grove and the surrounding area. Given the other issues reported in Savior's Cradle, Mitra Centauran, and Roktala, I worry our worst fears may be coming to pass. I beg your wisdom on these matters. I believe these 5 may be able to help carry out whatever plan of action you decide is necessary. I ask, humbly, that you examine them for the divine spark. By their words and deeds, they are chosen by goddesses all across Terrasen, and I believe this is because they possess her light. Send my regards to Yuki, and let her know I will visit as soon as I am able. With all my love, Maxwell Sunvale.
Maxwell.
Oh, he did.
Dirty boy.
Strange. She kind of furrows her brow as she looks that over before carefully folding it back the way it was. That is interesting. Also, Maxwell?
He's got a silver hammer.
He did mention in front of Melody that he took the
Yes.
name Martine from his father.
Yes, I didn't know if we knew that.
I mean, he said it in front of all of you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I
thought
couldn't.
I couldn't remember if
Mm-hmm.
I
yeah,
knew
in
that.
this
I know that
moment,
out
I
of
can't
character.
remember who that was in front
Oh,
of.
yeah, that was in front of the group.
Okay. Oh, okay. So she's gonna go. Oof. I can see why he changed it.
Damn.
Martine's a better name. What was his dad thinking? She will fold that in. She'll seem very contemplative. So that's why we're going.
Something to miss, Lady Rialta?
No, I investigated the letter we are to give to the
You what?
Armado. Oh, it was right here. There's no seal on it. Anyone could read it.
That's
That is
private mail.
private.
Oh. Well, do you want to know what was in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Brooks just snorts in laughter. Hearing this.
She shrugs. Well, he wishes to know if any of us have the divine spark.
The divine spark.
Indeed. I suppose such power would make sense, given we were all chosen by the other prophets, but it's still strange.
Seems.
By who now?
She's referring to the matriarch in your case.
Yes, you would call them gods and goddesses. My people do not refer to them as such. But yes, either way. Interesting. I suppose that would explain some things, but I did not know of people with the divine spark to be seen by the others, if that makes sense.
Have you ever heard of these sort of markings? He tries to point to the wolf, wherever it is.
I will go ahead and answer that. No.
No. There is not in the
Strange.
teachings I know. To be fair, the only prophet of my people is Talia, and she motions to Brooks. So
Ew.
Has there also
Regardless.
been like any mentions of the gods and goddesses choosing people with the spark before?
not that I'm aware of. We would have to know a moment in time, perhaps, when a such a prophet's spark ignited, so to speak. And such writings are only discussed if they're ever written down or in journals. But unless we could take that as a moment in time, it's hard to say.
I suppose Moonbay would be as good a place as any, where the Temple of the Onredo lies, to look for such information.
Indeed. If anyone would know whether these tattoos are marks of the spark or connected or not connected otherwise, I would think it would be her. Still.
I have added you all a handout. You have the letter to Onredo Suki.
You're
Ah,
welcome, guys, for being a nosy Nancy.
Lose 2 honor points.
This ain't L5R. I can do whatever the hell I
You
want.
are now honor rank naughty.
Oh god.
So,
Yeah, Callie would like that, wouldn't she?
That should be a dirty dirt. Callie likes that honor rank. Never mind. Never
all
mind.
my characters were very honorable, I'll have you know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you like.
Stares at Liliana. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
oh,
Sorry. In
L5R.
D&D? No,
No.
absolutely not. In L5R, they were.
Yes.
No, once there was a mechanical advantage to honor, Callie quickly became.
Yep. Very true.
What?
Very true.
Absolutely.
There's a stat bonus.
Well, and also, to be fair, in L5R, you can get a ton of honor by being really good at killing people with a sword. So,
Yeah.
That's honorable.
Clearly, I agree.
It's called
Shouldn't have-
duels.
They shouldn't have been messing with you if they were so dishonored.
So, where is everyone on the cart? What are y'all doing?
Oh, I'm in the cart itself.
You can't ride the horses, so I'd be sitting up
I'm-
front.
Driving.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we got
Brux
2
and Severus
drivers.
are up front.
I'm gonna be dangling my legs like at the edge of the cart.
I
Caldana has been
strumming-
taped to the bottom.
I poke Caldana and she kind of doesn't seem to pay much mind, and Rel's gonna go, okay, weird.
I can't believe Caldana's a cardboard cutout today.
Every time we talk to Caldana, it just says "object not found."
Yeah, it's weird. I know.
I don't
We got
understand.
missing textures for her.
It's weird, dude.
Very strange.
She's not.
I
Not
think
loading in
Caldana
right.
needs more rest, so we'll let her rest
Huh?
a bit.
So
We'll
she
let her rest.
won't talk much here, but except to say that her thoughts are very much on Inquisitor Sunvale, and very much on what is happening right now in Lockheed's Haven. She wanted to stay. She wanted to stay and continue to aid in Lockheed's Haven. And at one point,
imagine.
and at one point, even offered to meet you all in Moon Bay at a later time. However, Inquisitor Sunvale was quite insistent that he had given her an order, and he expected her to follow it.
We will be helping them by doing this. I full-heartedly believe it.
I can understand your concern, Caldana. I talked to Master Sunvale for a while. I do believe if there is anyone in this Inquisition that will look out for the best of those people in the Haven, it's him.
Other than that, she is quiet. Although, again, occasionally she seems to react to something, as if having a conversation.
Did she laugh at the moon in the sky pizza pie bit?
You know what? She's not here. Yeah, she did. That was hilarious. I got you covered.
Wanted.
That's getting clipped, right?
You
Oh yeah.
you as you travel north along the hard silver road, off to the left of the road you can see the tips of trees beginning to peak over the horizon. By this point you've been traveling for let's say 5 hours. It's an easy trip so far. Relatively flat lands. To your right you've been able to see Lake Undal. And along this cobblestone road, it's not particularly hard traveling, except for the occasional bump where a stone has come loose or that. But as you've now traveled for a while, you see the beginnings of trees peeking over the horizon. They look like they may be pine trees, conifers of some kind. And yet, as you continue forward, they grow larger and larger and larger. And before long, you realize they must be the size of redwoods, if not bigger. But that isn't what is truly awe-inspiring. Behind them is another tree, a white oak by the appearance of it, although it's by far the largest tree you've ever laid eyes upon, with its branches extending all the way up to the clouds. Brux, Cerberus, and Melody, you all saw this tree on your way down to Mina's Grove. And Rialta, you've actually seen it many times. For when the skies are clear around Heaven's Reach Observatory, this tree can be seen from there, all the way in the mountains. And I'm actually going to transition us over to the screen so that we can all see what we're looking at. The party is currently along the way towards South Cross and are able to see Lockheed's Rest from here. And you make your way along, continuing, seeing these massive trees growing ever larger and just trying to, you've never seen pine trees this big. I mean, you have because you've passed by it before, but nowhere else have you ever seen them. And having just seen the pine trees of Mina's Grove proper, those are tiny in comparison.
I mean, what's that tree called?
The tree and the whole place is known as Lockheed's Rest. If you'd like to make a history check, or a history check would be appropriate. Even a religion check I would allow, actually, for this, because it's about
Well,
Lockheed.
Pages, help me with a religion check.
I would say you're on a cart. You have plenty of time to read. You can try with your +4 if you like.
16.
Dirty 20.
6.
I will tell you all what you know of Lockheed's Rest, and then Rialto, I'll grant you 2 questions, and Brock's 1.
Okay.
Neat.
Lockheed's Rest is said to be where the goddess Lockheed finally left the prematerial plane and left for the celestial plane. It is believed that all gods and goddesses, when their spark ignites, they immediately leave for the celestial plane. They cannot maintain physical form on this world. The exception to that, supposedly, is Lockheed, who, after touching down near the Sundered Blue at what would later become Lockheed's Landing, it is believed that finally, somewhere south of that is where she finally passed and left for the next plane. Brux, 1 question, and Rialto 2. You can do them in whatever order you like.
Well, the only thing that immediately comes to mind for me is time span between this and defeating Scala.
Yep. So Scala is defeated, of course, in the 100th year of her reign. Now, of course, known as 0 after the fall.
New personal record.
Yes. Lockheed touches down on that same day. It is believed that she remained on this world for 1 year before she journeyed towards where Lockheed's Rest would be. And when she ascended and left for the celestial plane, it is said that this great tree, this great white oak tree, spawned out of the ground beneath her and grew into the heavens and lifted her into the heavens.
My first question is less of a historical one and just more kind of modernly. Is the tree do anything for people? Do people just go there to pray? What's kind of the use of the area?
It is a holy place. It is where someone. It is, if you were to make a pilgrimage, if you were a believer, a follower of Lockheed, there are 2 stops that you would inevitably make on this journey. 3, actually, you would make. The tieflings of the Kartok Mountains, Kaldana's people, they do make a pilgrimage once in their lifetime out of the mountain, and they go to Lockheed's Rest and to Lockheed's Landing, and they offer their prayers to her at those locations. Other scholars and religious worshippers of Lockheed, in their lifetime, they would want to make a journey to Lockheed's Rest, to Lockheed's Landing, and to Savior's Cradle, where supposedly she was born. Although there is great dispute among people about where she was born. Some believe it is in Savior's Cradle, and some believe it is in Winter's Grip. So your Lockheed's Rest and Lockheed's Landing everyone goes there for a pilgrimage, and then depending on what you believe of her would determine the other place you would go.
Robbie, did you have any thoughts of a question? I can.
Well,
Go ahead.
I mean, my question would be, why the hell is that tree there? Is it supposed to be that she died there, and in her ascension, that made a giant tree?
So the story goes that as she decided that it was time for her to leave, that she lay down, and this tree sprang up from beneath her and literally lifted her up into the clouds, and she ascended into the celestial plane.
Very cool.
And that is where she. That's what now marks her grave, as it
Yeah, I
were.
see. Gotcha.
Sounds good.
So, you continue north, heading towards South Cross. South Cross itself is a city that seems to be a small version of something once grander. The remnants of the outer walls can be seen, although they are ancient and mostly have fallen away to be reclaimed by nature. But based on how far away they are from the city proper, you can infer that at one time this was likely a much larger city than it is today. Now it is a small village at the crossing of the Eastways and Hard Silver roads. Much of it is just under tents, with only a handful of buildings on solid foundations. As you enter South Cross, you can see that many of the tents are traders who have set up shop, selling to miners either going to Minas Grove or back to Stone's Throw. There are 5 main buildings, including a town hall, a small barracks, an inn and tavern by the name of the Siren's Tears, and there is also a temple with Lockheed's symbol on it.
Which is the sword up thrust, isn't it?
It is. It is 2 hands raising a sword aloft, as we saw on. It's actually on Inquisitor Sunveil's tie clip.
Yes.
Yes.
And you said it's been a few hours.
The sun is going down at this point. It took you about 5 hours coming out of Minas Grove. The days have not yet gotten long, although they are certainly longer than they were in the middle of winter. But they have not yet gotten long. And indeed, the sun is just starting to touch the horizon as you arrive in South Cross.
Suppose we should stop for the evening in South Cross.
Yes, I think that would make
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly as I was thinking.
Be good to have a good bed to sleep on. We will have plenty of time to stare at the stars as we fall asleep.
Be good for Caldana. She's
Yes,
not
Having
moving
a
very
moment.
much.
I
all
know. We'll
day.
we'll help her. We'll help her feet move.
All right.
You are able to escort the comatose Caldana into the building and
Come on now, Grandma.
No. Um, so it's not particularly expensive to stable your horses. You can tell this city just by the fact that it only has one actual house. It's a 2-story house, and you can tell probably a number of people live there, but very few people live in South Cross. It is mainly a place where people go to trade or to eventually, move on and provide their wares elsewhere, or they're just stopping there while they travel. That's what seems to be the vast majority of what South Cross is in this time. We will see in Scholarain that it is much larger in that era. But yes, you are able to stable your horses for a silver for the night.
Perfect. Well, then we will do so.
And I presume then you'll go into the Siren's Tears.
Yeah.
Get some rooms.
The Siren's Tears is having just stayed at the Widow's Revenge, the Siren's Tears sucks.
Do they even have a breakfast banquet?
They don't have a breakfast banquet. They don't have a second floor stables. They don't have anything cool.
I saw the stables were outside.
Yeah, they are
Garbage.
the second floor here is all rooms, like for peasants.
That's weird.
The main floor does have a stage, although it's a little run down at this point. There are currently dancers on it who are dancing and performing. The the inn is run by a human man in his late 60s. He has got thinning gray hair with blue eyes. He's got a very tough look about him, though. You get the sense that he sees a lot of drunken idiots come through here and has to keep people kind of moving. He nods as you come in. Welcome. Welcome to the Siren's Tears. How many nights are you staying?
Just
the
one.
one.
Excellent. That's how we like it. All right.
Rude.
How many? No
5.
offense. Don't know you. 5? I don't have 5 rooms.
Well,
I can get you 2.
We'll take 2 then.
All right, 2.
I suppose we could try to fit all the ladies in one, and if
Don't-
necessary, I could sleep in the stables.
He will be fine, and we'll figure something out, Sir Varys. I used to bunk with my brother. I'm sure it will be the same thing.
Very well.
Perhaps he has some
You have 3
Chelsea
rooms.
Vale.
3 rooms. It'll cost you a gold apiece.
It's
Can
fine.
manage it.
All right.
If I
Three.
perform, could you knock?
He glances over at the 3 dancers on the
Yeah.
stage.
What? How much in the party loot right now? Like
We've-
900?
We've got plenty of gold.
There's over 1,200 gold pieces.
We have
in the
1280.
Jesus.
No, it's, I already have talent booked for the evening, so
Five gold then. Here's 5 gold.
excellent. Thank you. All right. He
Took it from
reaches
the
down,
party.
grabs for you 3 keys, and he nods. There'll be the last 3 up there, and then he you see him go over and put a sign in the window that suggests that there are no more rooms available at the moment.
Okay.
But he
We just screwed over an NPC. I'm pretty
some
sure.
NPC, yeah, Raj is sleeping outside when he gets here.
Oh, that's magic.
I will also remind you too that Carmen is with you still,
Oh.
although you'll be going your separate ways this morning or in the
Carmen?
morning.
Oh yeah, Carmen's with us.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I
she's going north on the Hard Silver Road from here.
completely
You're
forgot
heading
about
east. So.
that.
But
Okay.
Callie.
We'll
Callie.
just
Shit. Why didn't that?
I
There we
don't
go.
know. What?
there's a
It's part
comment
of my. It's part of my background.
by popular demand. It's a background so that she can.
Oh, I got you. I find a place to perform, usually an inner tavern, but possibly with a circus at a theater. Oh, fair enough. So while you're not official talent for the night, eventually they're going to take a break, and you
You're the opener.
could go up and perform while they take a break if you like.
Yeah, she can do that.
You are all given your keys, your 3 keys. You can divide them up however you like. And told if you want a drink, you can get them up here at the bar and take them to whatever table you like.
Well, I'll be happy to gather the drinks then for us before we turn in, I suppose.
That's good.
Excellent. What can I pour for you?
Do you have ale or wine?
No mead?
No mead, unfortunately. Got I got 2 ales. One of them's it's a swill. It's pretty cheap. The other one is it's not bad. It's dwarves like it.
And I'll take 6 of the dwarf-approved ales, please.
Very well. He charges you 6 silver. Sorry.
All right. I hand on the pieces, and I bring 2 fistfuls of mugs back. Place one down in front of Carmen and the rest of everyone.
As you do this, all of you have a mug in front of you. Melody.
Yeah.
Yours changes into hot chocolate as it sits in front of you.
Oh,
Nice.
Could have bought water.
Why? What?
The savings.
Oh, damn.
I could have saved some silver. Should turn into hot chocolate anyway.
I gotta tell you, hot chocolate in this world and time might be more expensive.
That's what I
No,
mean.
no,
You should have just
they're
gotten
saying
water.
that-
Oh yeah,
If given that anything can turn into hot chocolate,
yeah.
I should have just paid for
no.
water.
The
Just get
matriarch
the
doesn't want her
free
drinking anything alcoholic.
If it was water, it wouldn't have worked. I see.
Water's healthy for you.
Alright.
She'd have been happy if you
Yeah.
drank water.
Gotcha.
Write these rules down.
So I could have put gasoline in it. Got it. Okay.
That she might have changed. She also might have shown up and tried to kill you, but
What an epic duel.
not
a
that.
battle
epic.
will be legend. Okay.
You trying to feed urine to the next time on Dragonborn P. All right. So we
Well, that was a choice.
anyway, that all came to my head very quickly,
Yes, it did.
All right.
and then right out my mouth. So
I
I'm
miss
drinking the ale.
Caldana.
You do?
Yeah,
Aw.
We all do.
I miss getting to write just like sexy demoness scenes. That's
Well, you. Okay. Well, sorry, I guess. Jeez.
Do you think I'm criticizing you right out there? Are you the one that you think I'm talking to?
All right. So anyway, I guess we're
Right.
drinking.
I don't know why she's talking about you that way, but
We're drinking.
sing I'm here.
I more meant that you're talking with the group. So we're drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I think of this?
You certainly wouldn't say it's dwarf approved. Like if they're putting that on a label somewhere, they need to take that off. It's
Them
okay.
flavor.
It's like if you serve this in Heaven's Reach Observatory, Yeah, they'd make you run around, like, they take your clothes and send you outside.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, what's the other dwarves called? I'm the sky dwarf. It's the stone.
Oh, the stone dwarf. No, the
No.
forge dwarves.
Forge dwarves. If you serve this with the sky dwarfs, they would make a premonition of when you would die and make it come true sooner. And if you gave this to the forge dwarves, they would just send you to heat the metal.
My order had an old relationship with the Forge Dwarves.
Did they now?
Once upon a time, yes.
They help create for you, or
Not a lot of steel to be mined in the forest.
Ah, right, of course.
Most of my people's armor, once we had it, was made by them.
Mm.
Also, I will just point this out because it lets me share a little lore. As Rialta mentions that particular anecdote, Brooks, you have heard this story before. And Melody, I would say so have you. There's a commonly told tale about the Star Dwarves and the Forge Dwarves. It goes like this. While drinking heavily for hours, two dwarves in Stone's Throw get into an argument over which is greater, the Forge or the Stars. The argument gets more heated, and with each passing moment, until finally the Forge Dwarf slams his fist down on the table. As drinks fly everywhere, the music in the tavern stops, and all eyes are drawn to the pair. Standing from the table, the Forge Dwarf draws his blade. Me blade is freshly sharpened this morning, and could cut through you before you so much as drew your axe. So what are your stars going to tell you to do about that, he demands. Still holding his tankard, the Sky Dwarf merely smiles and responds, Poisoned your drink an hour ago.
Did you put that in the book?
It
I
is.
f-
It's
okay.
in the
Yeah.
book,
I was
yeah.
like, that's familiar.
Yeah, it's in my book. Yep.
Yeah, it's in there.
I
That is
did indeed hear that story.
but that is
before.
that is a famous story told between specifically told by the Star
Yeah.
Dwarves. The Forge Dwarves don't like that story very much.
I feel like the Forge Dwarves end that story with, and then he stabbed her.
Probably.
Probably.
They just tell the ending a little differently.
Yeah.
Speaking of lore things, it just occurred to me, I probably didn't have a drink until I left, did I? That doesn't seem like a very like good Uruk thing.
Oh, are you suggesting the Urks probably don't have a whole lot of alcohol? You
Probably
said?
not.
They do have alcohol, but it's usually ceremonial.
Yeah.
It would be for a special occasion where you would drink. Yeah, they don't have a ton of taverns.
Yeah. I was just sitting here thinking about that.
Mm-hmm. So, you are. It is a rowdy evening in this tavern. Everyone who's here, the vast majority of them are miners. You can tell they're either peddling wares or taking their haul from the mines up to Stone's Throw. Some come from down near Mina's Reach, and this would probably represent some of the last loads of hard silver coming out of the mines in Mina's Reach. Others might be coming from different small mining villages along the Kartok Mountains.
I genuinely thought for a second you meant like minors, like there's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
No.
I was waiting for you to interject. This bar is full of children.
No.
I mean, I thought that was the joke. I thought the Kelly was gonna drop, but I went, oh, okay,
Yeah, no, actual miners.
that makes sense. That makes
Yes.
sense.
But it is a relatively peaceful evening in the bar. Nothing seems to require your immediate attention.
We're
And
not here
eventually
to
you
start
are,
fights.
eventually you are able to retire up to your rooms. They're okay.
Wait,
they
wait.
work.
Before we do,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to hear
shit.
something?
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, well.
Okay. So Melody, before she goes up to perform as like an opener, will turn to the group with a very, very serious look on her face.
Yes.
What do we call ourselves?
Oh,
Mm.
Mm.
Probably not that flatulent 5 thing.
No.
I'd prefer not.
I don't know.
It has to be something that ties us all together.
Well, we were all chosen by goddesses, but the goddesses 5, I'm not sure would
What about
It seem a bit boastful.
would.
why don't we just say what we are then? Marked.
The marked.
Carmen glances over from her glass. I mean, kind of makes you sound like you're wanted, but not the worst I've ever heard.
We are wanted. We don't entirely understand by whom, and we're still trying to figure out why
For what?
and for what, but we are marked. Whether it is for greatness or not, I suppose we have yet to find out.
I'll look down at my little spider.
Mm-hmm. The spider is currently making some cool webs on your hands.
What about the sparks marks? They're
Sparks
kind of
marks.
catchy.
Sparks.
Sparks
Marks.
Melody, if that's what you wish to call us, I will not object.
Shrug.
It's different. It will be interesting to say that 20 times.
Sparks marks, sparks marks, sparks marks. And she bites her tongue.
Indeed.
I think it would hurt for a
Ow.
Dragonborn.
Well, perhaps in your song you can rhyme marked with thou sparked.
Shoot. Well, I gotta sing that later then.
I would.
And she kind of like pulls out like a piece of parchment and just like scribbles down.
I would call ourselves the hand-picked. See, we were picked, and hand has 5 fingers. It's very clever, but it doesn't sound as good as the marked. Hand-picked.
You see Carmen take a long pull of her drink.
I, the player, appreciate that.
Thank you. I thought it was clever, but I knew we wouldn't use it.
The 5 fingers.
I think Cerberus would give an eyebrow, but Rob liked it.
Thank you. Thank you.
She gives a. I think it's a good thing you're all going to talk to a prophet,
Why is that?
Okay.
because maybe she'll have a better idea.
Very well.
Oh, Carmen, you sort of reformed ne'er-do-well you.
She thinks about that for a moment. I mean, as close to reformed as Carmen Rayla will ever be.
We'll see about that.
Star marks?
And she kind of like goes over to like glance over to Fluffles.
Because we have marks of the stars here.
Fluffles tries to give you a thumbs up, but doesn't have a thumb, so he just holds up a hand.
It's like
Just
Power-
little bear fist.
Yeah, he just holds up the little teddy bear hand. Hey, Nell, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Once again, I forgot to turn off my alerts.
that's funny.
Welcome in, everybody. We're currently, party is trying to think of a name. But, yep, you are able to get up on stage as the dancers are currently taking a break. They seem exhausted, having performed for most of the evening. And you are able to perform.
I'm not singing tonight.
Okay,
There's
that's fine.
I am so sorry.
Just make a
That's
performance
okay.
check for me, then.
It's all good. You don't
That's
always have to do it.
perfectly fine. You don't.
That's
you
totally
don't have
fine.
to earn inspo every week.
Yeah. We're drowning in it.
Thank you, P. Lifer.
where's-
Thank you so much. Welcome in, everybody. We are currently playing Whispers in Silence, our the
Mhm.
8th session. Our party is traveling currently from the city of Minas Grove, where this campaign began, all the way to Moon Bay, all the way up on the coast. They've got quite a journey ahead of them. They are currently in the city of South Cross.
You know what they say about Moon Bay?
Don't. With a 21 on your performance check, you may take whatever you rolled times 2 in gold pieces.
42.
Jesus.
Get your gold.
You're having a good night.
Jesus.
You made back what we spent.
Yeah.
on the
And then
road.
some.
More than quite a bit.
You can just keep it though. Like the 5 gold from the pot's fine.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
we're
put some
good.
if you wanted, but we're fine if you want
We
to
have-
keep it.
We currently have so much we don't really need to worry about budgeting at the moment.
At the moment, just wait till we want more magic items then.
Well, wait till
Whew.
the taxes come in. That's how they get you.
So as the night
Are
wraps,
we in a tax exempt organization now?
Oh, I'll file us as a 401.
I
Alright.
got a song. I'm going to hate myself for it, but I got a song.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
The moon hits the sky.
I actually need to listen to this. Hold on.
all right. I guess I will just give us a moment then and say, is there anything else someone wanted to do before you retire for the evening?
I'll try to attempt to divine the stars just because I'm not doing that, so I should.
Interesting.
It's a thing you have.
Oh, is there no stars here?
No, you absolutely can. You step outside,
Uh-huh.
and here in the city, especially around here, it's noisy. People are talking, so you step outside the city, which is not far to go. It's like I say, it's only about 5 buildings and a bunch of tents. And you go and you lay down in a field. You may go and attempt to divine the stars.
Okay. All right, I gotta get a 17 or higher, guys. Believe in me. That's a 10, so nope.
I see. Rialta,
Yes.
as you lay down and look up at the stars, looking up at that beautiful night sky, you can see the stars so clearly. Perhaps not as much as in Heaven's Reach Observatory where you're from, but they are beautiful here. Looking up into the vast sky, you see that both moons are out this evening. In the south, Ceres hangs just above the horizon, while Rosalind sits high above your head. In the distance, you hear a whistle that you recognize as the sign that something has been found, and you feel your heart flutter hopefully in your chest. Sitting up, you take hold of your lantern and pull your cloak up around your body. You then turn and enter into the God's Grasp forest. You walk for a long time, occasionally hearing the whistle again and changing your path, until at last you enter a clearing. There you see 6 other people, all wearing the same cloaks as you are. Each of them carries the same lantern, bright and brilliant, and able to illuminate this place so deep in the God's Grasp. Approaching, you ask one of the men what he's found. He holds up a belt buckle, and you recognize it to be of halfling make. Your eyes widen. It could certainly be his. Taking the belt buckle, you recognize it as belonging to a boot and nod. The leather doesn't appear worn and taken by the elements. This was lost recently. Whoever lost it isn't far away. Each of you begins searching for tracks, holding your lanterns high to keep the area well lit. It doesn't take long for you. All you need to do is put yourself into the mind of a child. What would they do? Where would they go? The river was north. Perhaps they would try to go that direction. Unlikely. A scared child lost in the dark would think to do such a thing. Keeping a straight path in the forest without a compass or with no stars to guide you was nearly impossible. And then it occurs to you. Safety. That is what a scared lost child would seek. Safety meant shelter. Safety meant animals couldn't get at them. Safety meant up. Your eyes begin to scour along the various trees of the area, and sure enough, spot one that has wood and bark scraped from it. Walking over, you can tell that it was not a bear or an animal that did this. No teeth or claw marks show on the wood. You glance at the broken belt buckle off a boot in your hand and nod. He went up, you call. The others approach and nod in agreement, and you begin to climb up the tree. As you enter into the canopy of the forest, the stars once again become visible, that beautiful night sky and moons bathing light upon the branches. In this part of the God's Grasp, the trees grow tall and intertwine, and traveling along the canopy is not much more difficult than it is along the ground as long as you watch your step. and by the glow of the starlight in your lantern, you are able to manage the feat. For hours, you journey through this canopy, following the trail left by the child who fled this way. You can't help but think you're seeing it so clearly, as if the stars themselves are lighting the way and showing you exactly what you need to see, and you do not lose his trail. Finally, you hop down into another tree, and there he is. Huddled up in a hollowed out part of a tree, a young boy is shaking and curled up. He has pretty golden hair and a lithe frame, and as he looks up, eyes widened as he recognizes the lantern. You can see his brown eyes. He is a halfling boy, lost in the god's grasp, afraid and alone, but he is not the one you're seeking. He is not your son. Grief, pain, sadness all threaten to overwhelm you at once, but they do not. You have trained yourself to overcome these things, not easily and not quickly, but over the last 5 years you have. And so you help this young boy down, and along with the rest of the watch, you escort him back to Lorelei's meet. A beautiful reunion is held there as this boy hugs his mother. She looks up at you, tears in her eyes, and says, "Praise be to the light. Praise be to the halfling's watch." And she continues to hug her child. You turn and you leave. You have seen this play out enough times, heard the praise, heard the adorations, the rumors of the lanterns of the watch, brilliant like the stars and moons themselves, saviors of the god's grasp. But at this moment, it all feels meaningless. They save many, but not the one you care about. You run into the god's grasp forest as quickly as your legs will take you. You run for what feels like an eternity, and you have no idea how deep within the forest you are. And finally you drop to your knees, the truth you have denied for 5 years weighing so heavily upon your shoulders now that you cannot even stand. He is gone, and there is nothing left for you. And then a voice rings clear in your mind. Seeker, Savior, Protector, Mother, Hero. Allow yourself to grieve. Your son has passed through the great cycle that he may live again. Grief is not the privilege of any single person or any single time. And you do. You grieve for who was lost. You miss them. You mourn them. And then you understand that them being gone is not the end for you. That they loved you in life, and how it ended does not change what was. The voice speaks again. I will have need of you in the future. May you ever walk in the light. And brilliant light shines forth from you, so blinding that the forest appears as it does in daylight. And as you look up, the canopy seems to part, and you can see the stars and moons. You can see them so clearly, so plainly. It is as if they are right in front of your face. Stars so dim that they could not be seen with the most powerful of telescopes are now clear as day. And you know that for as long as people live, they will look to the heavens for answers. And you, Selena, goddess of the moon and stars, will ever be there to lend your guidance and your protection. And then you blink, and you're still where you were. You did not see what you looked for in the stars, but perhaps you found something else.
He thinks on that for a moment, nods, but answers some questions. Very well. And she will stand up and hurry inside to whoever's still awake.
As you stand up, you turn, and there she is, just as she was the first time you saw her. Selena, goddess of moon and stars, beautiful night sky for hair, eyes like moons, short, no taller than you, a halfling in life. She looks at you.
Is what I saw what happened to you?
He looks up to the sky and starts to touch different stars, making a picture appear for you, as she once did before. A face of her son, you presume. And then it vanishes. She whisks it away. Yes.
What's his name?
Heinrich.
Heinrich?
Heinrich. Heinrich.
Heinrich.
Mhm.
Is that why you chose me? Grief?
She smiles. 5 years. 5 years I looked for him. I started the Halfling's Watch, dedicated to saving those lost in the God's grasp. Dedicated to saving those lost in the ice melt marsh. Dedicated to saving those lost in the Fey Forest. 5 years I looked for my son, never willing to accept that he was gone. And before I knew it, so much time had passed. Everyone else had moved on. Everyone else had expected that I had moved on. I didn't feel like I could grieve anymore, that it was no longer my place to. It almost consumed me before I understood.
Rialto's eyes are down, and she has a very, very somber look. Normally, she's a very calm, placid, just doesn't emote very much. This is probably the first time she's really starting to emote. Does it end? Does it ever stop?
The pain?
Yes.
No. No, the pain never goes away. Whether you become divine or live the rest of your life as a mortal, you will miss them. But in time, you learn to live with the pain. You learn to make room in your heart for other things. And the pain stops hurting. The pain instead becomes a reminder of all the good things about them. I no longer think of my son and feel pain. I think of my son and I think of his smile. I think of my son and I think of his sense of humor. That is what I remember about him now. And even though there is still pain, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
What if you don't deserve to remember the happy moments with them?
She smiles. Your moments with them. Say that again.
What if you don't deserve to remember those happy moments?
They are your happy moments with them, and no one can take them from you. It is not about what you deserve, not about what anyone deserves. You remember people for what they meant to you. And Rialta, we always live for those still living.
As you are doing now,
Mhm.
choosing part of a group that is choosing us, guiding us.
She spoke to me that night and told me that she would have need of me in the future. Now it has come time to pay that debt. May you ever walk in the light, Rialta. You and all those you call companion. And she fades into the stars, lifting up for a moment before her hair grows to match exactly the night sky. And when you look again, she's gone. You look down, your tattoo has changed. No longer is it just the outline of a raven, or rather just the uh, 5 interconnected lines forming the bird, it now has a full outline, growing more complex. And I owe you a description of what has changed specifically
Oh.
about it.
Wow.
Ooh.
That is.
Level up.
Varus, Melody, Rux, Valdana, Rialto. Rialto, you have reached stage 2 with your tattoo.
Mhm.
The Raven empowers your healing abilities. When you heal someone through magical means, the Raven lends its boon, and you may re-roll any number of dice once and use the higher result. In addition, increase your Raven's familiar damage to 2d8.
Dope.
Nice.
Very nice. Well,
It's-
that's
You have a
pretty
very,
much the
you have
only
a very good level 2. Your level 3 isn't as strong.
my my level is pretty much that's gonna be the only form I'm using for a while.
I mean, it is meant to be your form, so
Okay.
drop
Very
it in the chat for you.
Thank you. I think I got it.
And Rialto,
Yes.
that, you turn and move to head back to the Siren's Tears. And that is where we will wrap up for this evening.